Here we go again. That's right. The first live was so nice, I had to do it twice. I'm not going to spend as much time on Tyson Fury for this live. There are other things happening in the division, in the sport, and just all around that I do want to discuss. The IBF actually set a purse bid date for Andy Ruiz. And, well, actually, let the list populate. Let's get some beer money going. Let's got the beer money. Let's get that going. We're going to go live. We're going to talk a lot of shit. And yeah. So Drew, if you're listening, jump on. Let's talk about it. We're at it again. We're going to do it again. We're at it again. We're going to talk a lot of trash. I want to change to one of my other favorite flannel hoodies. It's nice. It's warm. It's snug. Jerome, what it do? Ricardo, ¿qué lo que? Y hay otro sujeto que yo quiero hablar about other things, other subjects I want to cover. Ya yo me harté de ese gordo fofo de Inglaterra. Yo me harté. Yo estoy harto de ese tipo ya. Ese tipo un charlatán. It's a charlatan. The next episode of the relay is actually already done. So after this live is over, I'll upload it for your viewing pleasure. Antonio, what it do? We out here. And I saw that they announced Virgil Ortiz versus Stanionis, which I think is a very good fight. We're going to be talking about that tonight in some detail. Just how do people expect that fight to look? There's a lot of people that were very critical of DAZN's price hike, and a lot of people who I guess are not already subscribed, because if they were, then they wouldn't be feeling that pinch. I actually subscribe to DAZN annually, so I think mine's renews in May. I believe that's when mine renews. And I'm getting all that stuff as just regular content, at no additional charge. So there's no price hike for me. But for all those who are not subscribed, I just wonder, well, how are you going to see Lara versus Wood this week? How are you going to see that? That's a good fight. How are you going to see Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz? How are you going to see that? Because those are good fights. If you're telling me that you're not interested in those cards or whatever, I guess you're just not that big a boxing fan, because those are actually really good fights, Shout out to Joe Markowski, Eddie Hearn, and all the good people at DAZN. If you ever want to send me some cash, hey, Al, what it do? And we out here. And yeah, I really like Virgil Ortiz versus Stanionis as a fight. Both guys are coming off of decent wins. Stanionis is coming off the win over Radzav Butaev. Virgil Ortiz is coming off the win over Michael McKinson. Both are coming off of wins over unbeaten fighters, guys that never lost a fight. And they're unbeaten fighters, so it's nice, that you're getting unbeaten fighter versus unbeaten fighter, and they're mostly on the up and up. I think the only hang-up for Stanionis is that the night of the fight, which is in April, it will have been over a year's time since he saw action, so that's not really good for him, but you got to blame his handlers for that. You really got to blame Richard Schaefer. You got to blame those guys for that, because they should have found him a fight after the Butaev fight. There was plenty of time in the year to get that kid a fight, and he basically just sat on the shelf, after the Butaev fight, which really isn't good. He's a young fighter. He needs to be fighting, but they didn't get him anybody. Dawn, what it do? Hyam, what it do? Yeah, Fluffy, what it do? And yeah, we out here. We had a really good live earlier. I talked a lot of shit about Tyson Fury, who I hate. I really hate Tyson Fury, and I can't pretend that I don't. I really don't like that guy. And tonight, I want to talk about the Stanionis versus Ortiz fight. I'm going to open up the chat to the panel shortly. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Stanionis versus Ortiz. I want to talk about Andy Ruiz's situation. If Andy can't get Deontay Wilder in the ring, for whatever reason, irrespective of what's going on, what do you guys think he should do after that? Because I don't think that Andy is on the verge of retirement. He's not hinted at retiring. I'm pretty sure that he wants to keep fighting and keep making money. But if he doesn't get Wilder, and Wilder's the biggest fight that they can make for him, what should he do? So yeah, we're gonna have a couple of conversations about that. It's very exciting. I'm just getting my thumbnails ready. Very exciting stuff. And Tyson Fury is just gonna keep being a fraud. His fanboys, they're not convincing anybody with the arguments that they're making. They're not winning people over with the things that they're saying. They think they are, but they're not. Nobody believes any of the crap that they're peddling, to be completely honest. So give me a second, fellas. Just give me a little minute to get my thumbnails in order. I want to talk about this fight first. Okay, now I'm going to open up the chat to the panel and let's get it going. Let's get it going early. Let's not wait. Let's get right into what is supposed to be Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz. Is anybody picking a Montes Stanionis? What do they think the fight's going to look like? I favor Virgil Ortiz to win this fight. I've already given my piece as far as why I think Virgil wins the fight. I think he's a little bit too big, too strong for a Montes Stanionis. I see that a Montes Stanionis fights in sequence. He takes turns with a guy when he takes punches as opposed to trying to hit him between the punches. And I don't think it behooves him to do that against this kind of puncher. So this is a really good fight. And let's see how people feel. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay, so we got Coach Malachi in the building. Coach, what it do?
Man, what's going on, brother, man? I'm trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with my camera. Okay, never mind. It's not. All right, never mind. It's not showing, but that's okay. I just leave it on the app on the avatar.
All right, how we doing, Coach? It's a lot of stuff going on in the world of boxing right now. How would things do? How you doing?
Oh, everything great, man. Everything is going good, man. I left cold ass Omaha, bruh. It was, anyway.
It's cold up there, man. It's cold. It get cold up there.
28 degrees, bro.
Shit. It's like 50, 60 out here, B. It's not even that cold.
Man, listen, so Stanionis and Virgil Ortiz, I'm glad that fight is back on and popping. I'm not gonna lie, Jules. I feel bad for Stanionis. He should have got a shot at the title, but it was his fault. I'm assuming it was his fault for taking stuff instead of fighting Usyk.
I do agree with that because I feel like, the fighters, like if the fighter's raising hell, and if the fighter's raising hell to his manager or his promoter or whoever, whoever's around, then that kind of forces them to do something. And he stepped aside so that Spence could fight Ugas on the premise that he would get the winner. Then he stepped aside again to allow Crawford to, unify with Spence. But that didn't happen. And, they fucked him. They fucked him. He went to the WBA. He said, well, look, Spence is not fighting Crawford. Can I get my fight now? And what they told him is, nah, son, you got to wait. And they literally let Keith Thurman go ahead of him, knowing that he was the mandatory before Keith Thurman. So it's a dirty game, bro. It's a dirty game.
Do you think, Jules, that he just never should? I mean, having foresight, of course. Had he known that this was going to happen, I'm pretty sure he probably would have just stuck to his guns.
I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, like that's how they get these young guys. You think you got all these people that's working for you, but in reality, what did Richard Schaefer really do for this fighter that whole year? Like, what did you do? You put him in the Butayev fight. That was a high-risk, low-reward fight. That's what you gave him instead of the title shot that he was supposed to have. And then the rest of the year, you didn't even keep him busy. He only fought once last year. And Probellum did do shows last year, by the way, that he could have been on them shows. He could have been on the undercard fighting some ham and that guy, but they just kept him on the shelf. They did him dirty, man. So he's like a prime example of how dirty boxing could be sometimes.
I mean, bro, like I just keep thinking about it, Jules. I'm like, damn, he's gonna have this tough ass fight with Virgil Ortiz. I'm leaning Virgil. I'm not gonna lie, I'm leaning Virgil.
I think we all are. I think the only silver lining for a Montes Stanionis is that Golden Boy won the purse bid, but because he's the WBA regular champion, he's going to get most of that money. So even if he gets put in the hospital, he can afford the hospital bill. Even if he does get put in, I do think he's going to get put in the hospital. I think Virgil's going to fuck him up real nice. That's what I think.
You think that's because of because Stanionis' boxing style is more he's an inside fighter.
He's an inside fighter and he fights in sequence, which isn't what you want. You don't want a guy like what I noticed in the Butayev fight is they were taking turns on each other. They were kind of just going back and forth. That you throw some punches, then I throw some punches, then you throw some punches, and he wasn't really trying to catch him in between the shots to hit him with like a counter shot, something that'll buzz him. And if you do that with Virgil, your turn is never going to come. He's just going to keep going. It's not going to come. He's just going to keep beating the shit out of you. So it's fucked up. But yeah, that's what I see. You know, that's what I see. Like if you waiting for Virgil to stop, he's not going to stop until you down. That's when he's going to stop. So Virgil's a young lion out here, B. Young lion.
And Virgil has power in both hands, bro. Like you can't do that, man. Yeah, he's going to get killed.
He's going to get killed.
And you know what? If he would have fought Ugas, I would have picked him to beat Ugas.
I would have picked him too because there's nothing. The truth about Ugas is he's only really viewed as solid for fights that he lost. You know, he lost the Sean Porter fight, but he did okay. And you beat an old Manny. You know, that's really your claim to fame. That you beat a very old Manny Pacquiao that had not fought in 2 years. That was 42 years old, and we really supposed to big him up and look at him as being solid because of that. And it's like, yo, that's the swindle again. Like, look, Ugas is okay, but he's like, he ain't Crawford or nothing like that. Like, he not on that level. He never been on that level. And the most that you did was, you know, you gave Sean Porter a solid fight, and you know, you beat Omar Figueroa. That was pretty good. I picked him to win that fight, but that's just because I didn't think much of Omar. That's the other thing, that it wasn't like it was like some shit. It was more like, well, I don't really think Omar is that good, so I think he's gonna get his ass beat. That's what that was. And then you beat old Manny Pacquiao. So I mean, really though.
I mean, yeah, Ugas is by far he probably between him and Danny, from a welterweight standpoint, from a name maybe. It's out of him and Danny, probably the weakest of the welterweights.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't pick Ugas to beat a couple of guys that's out there. Like, I wouldn't pick Ugas to beat Stanionis. I'm really not convinced he would beat Butayev either because Butayev throws a lot of punches and he does a lot of switch hitting. He does the orthodox southpaw thing. So it's a lot of guys that I don't actually think he would beat. I don't think Ugas would beat Boots Ennis. I definitely don't think he's going to beat Virgil. So, you know, he's just a good, serviceable fighter that used to have a belt for like 10 seconds.
Man, well, he has the Reggie belt though.
Well, yeah, you know, Stanionis.
I'm saying, Stanionis, right?
Yeah, Stanionis got the Reggie belt. So the whole point of this fight is lining up Virgil to pick up the regular title should it become vacant, because we know that Spence, like this whole thing with Spence, and I'm really just tired of even mentioning that guy, but it's like, it's looking like he may not stay at welterweight, irrespective of what happens with Thurman or Crawford. It just doesn't look like he's going to stick around and fight all these mandatories that he got, because if Virgil win that belt, Virgil becomes his mandatory. Boots is already in the queue by way of the IBF, so that's another mandatory. And then, you know, supposedly Keith Thurman supposed to be mandatory by way of the BC, but you see what I'm getting at there. Who's really thinking that Errol going to stick around at 47 and fight all these people that's lining up for him? There's people gunning for him. And it's not a lot of money in those fights. But well, not in the Boots fight, I would say. In Texas, you can probably sell Ortiz. You could probably do that at Jerry's house because, you know, he's from Texas, you're from Texas, the whole shit.
Yeah, I'm like you, man. I don't like talking about Crawford and Spence. When I was in Omaha, and I had a long conversation with Crawford, man, and I even interviewed him. I'm not going to release the interview though, but I told him that. I said, man, you're not going to get that fight. But I know for a fact that that's why I laughed when I heard the info that was out there now about him and Spence working behind the scenes. I know for a fact that's not true.
It's not true.
No,
I believe. You know why I believe you, Coach? Two reasons. One, you're a Capricorn. We don't lie. We have no need to. We don't live that way. And two, Crawford don't look like no liar to me. It don't, like, I just don't get that from him. He ain't that guy that he gotta say this and say that. Like he just looked like a honest dude. He looks like a stand-up guy. Shout out to Crawford. I want to address this though. Daniel Mickelson asks, "Hey Ring, who did AJ beat other than an old Klitschko on his last breath?" Okay, he beat unbeaten Dillian White years ago. He beat unbeaten Dominic Breazeale, who was in the top 10. He was in the top 10. You don't have to believe me. You can look it up. You can look it up on TBRB. You can go back to the Ring archives. You'll see Dominic Breazeale was just cracked the top 10 when he fought him. So he beat that guy. He beat Joseph Parker for the WBO. He beat Povetkin, who was also in the top 10, a former Olympic gold medalist. He beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch, who was a unified champion. He beat Pulev, who was also in the top 10. He beat Takam, who was also in the top 10. See, what that question tells me is that you don't keep up with boxing as much as you think. Because if you did, you would know that he actually beat more top 10, divisional top 10, not alphabet top 10, divisional top 10s, guys that are top 10 in the whole weight class. He actually beat more top 10s than Fury and Wilder combined. But if that doesn't impress you, that's your prerogative, if that doesn't impress you. Because honestly, like I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm only going to stick to the facts. If that don't impress you, that's your problem, not mine.
Jules, what's up with you know what? I looked at the interview. I was watching the interview with Anthony Joshua, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, and I see it in his face. It seems to me, he knows that he understands that. He's a great fighter, but he understands that. Man, these people really don't give a damn about me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You can just tell how standoffish he is, the way he looks. He understands.
I think he's jaded, bro. I think he's jaded. The whole process, the whole thing with the belts and just all this shit. Yeah. And the other thing is that people did turn on him. Like, we can't pretend that people didn't turn on him. No, they did. Once he was the golden boy, the golden child. Yeah. And then there's people, they did turn on him that, you were never any good. Yeah. You were a hype job. Listen, I talked to a guy today. He tried to say that Anthony Joshua's career was carefully guarded. This man was fighting for a world title at 15-0. How was he carefully guarded?
I listened to the entire show. You came on earlier today. I heard it. He was on the panel, right? Yeah, he was on the panel when he said that.
Okay, let me address Michael Mickelson. Daniel, that is. Daniel, Ugas was never a unified champion. His claim to fame is fighting a semi-retired 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Vlad wasn't out the ring as long as Manny Pacquiao. You should check those dates before you try to make that parallel. Manny was out for like close to 2.5 years. Vlad, I believe, was out for a year because Fury wasted his time and didn't give him his rematch. But if we're being honest, his only claim to fame isn't beating Klitschko. He beat a lot of solid fighters in the heavyweight division. If you don't think they were solid, that's your prerogative. What I know is a lot of them guys was in the top 10. A lot of them guys. Takam, Parker, Pulev, Povetkin, Breazeale, Andy. They was in the top 10, bro. So if you don't respect it, that's your prerogative, bro. There's nothing I could do about that. I'm not here to change your mind. I stick to the facts.
Jules? What do you think the state now is the of the heavyweight division? Joshua and Wilder had an opportunity to fight each other when they were both undefeated and had the belts. Now they don't have the belts, and one guy has 2 losses, one guy has 3 losses, one guy's been pretty much stopped twice. So what do you think about that? It does seem that the Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, that seems like to be kind of a saga now. The common denominator is Tyson Fury. So I don't know, man. I want to see that fight bad. I really want to see that fight bad, bro, because I want to see how Usyk fights Fury. You know what I mean?
I think that because Usyk is a fellow Capricorn, I think he's going to take that fight anyway, because I just kind of try to put myself in his shoes. Like, if it was me and I came that far and I only really got one fight, it's only one. That's it. That's the one. That's the only one. It ain't about Hergovic. It ain't about Dubois. It ain't about Joyce. And the harder that they try to make it for me, the more I'm going to feel like, you scared. The harder you try to make it for me, that, oh, now you want it in Wembley instead of Saudi, and you got to be the lion's share and ABC. All that tell me is you don't really want this fight. So I'm going to do everything I can to get this fight because you know you're going to lose. You know you are. You can't say the things about me that you say about everybody else. I ain't been knocked out. I ain't been knocked down. I'm a road warrior. Every belt I won was in somebody else's country. And now I'm about to do to you what I did to your man. So if I'm Usyk and I'm looking at him, I'm like, I feel like he's going to take the fight. I do.
No, but I have no doubts in my mind about Usyk. I'm saying, I see what you're saying. You're saying that, okay, now that Fury is trying to A-side him, even though he has one belt, Usyk has 3, but he's trying to A-side him. I get it. So hoping that he doesn't take the fight, and Usyk is going to be like, no, I'm going to take the fight anyways.
Yeah, because Usyk, like to me, he's at the tail end of his career, and it don't make sense to do nothing else. It's not about nobody else, and it's not about nothing else. It's not about fighting Dubois and getting a little check, fighting Joyce and getting a little check. It ain't about that. It's about Fury right now. So because you keep trying to do things to fuck with it, that just shows, you scared, you don't really want this, which I think will galvanize Usyk. Like, nah, you know what? This is the last fight. Let's get it. It's not for as much money as before, but fuck it. Let's get it. Fuck it.
The situation, and then the situation with Wilder, Andrew Ruiz, he's looking for, Wilder's looking for other promotional companies, that's willing to pay him the type of money that he wants to fight Andy, or potentially maybe moving on, according to Michael Benson, according to him. So I have to preface that, but it's like, man, it seems like the well is dry over there, and I just wonder, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I am. I wondered. I said, okay, if Wilder were to leave the PBC and find another home to have his next fight or two, will the pro PBC guys, will they hate Wilder and say that he left the brother PBC, or will they, because some of these guys are fans of the PBC.
Yeah, but Coach, you probably one of the few people that I could have this conversation with, because you know where I'm coming from. That the fascination that they have with Al Heyman is tantamount to the fascination that children have with Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. You just want him to be, something that he's not. And it's not based on boxing. Everything that me and you've been talking about is coming into fruition. The whole thing that they frauds over there, bro. They ain't got no money over there. All that shit is smoke and mirrors. And as much as you show guys and look, Wilder complaining about his money now. Why do y'all think Al Heyman is the fairy godmother of boxing? It's only a couple people that really understand it. They're like, y'all got this fascination with this dude because y'all want him to be something that he ain't. And y'all just going to keep propping that up. Y'all going to keep defending him no matter what comes out. Adrian Broner gave y'all a lot of jewels. Bernard Hopkins gave y'all a lot of jewels. Now you hearing Wilder complaining about his money, and you still don't want to see it. That the dude is a fraud. The whole PBC shit. Motherfucking the other day, Richardson Hitchens, he did an interview about why he left Mayweather Promotions. And he said in plain English what I've been saying for 4 years. It's not Samson Lukowicz that got a deal, Lou DiBella that got a deal when he was with the PBC, or Chino Maidana Promotions that got a deal. It's Al Heyman that got a deal. Now, if he's not a promoter, why is he the one with the content deal? Because
bro, you already know what it is. He found a way to subvert the Muhammad Ali Act, and it's like no one wants to. I get it. No one wants to address that, and that's exactly what it is. And Richardson Hitchens, it goes back to what me and you talk about. I told you, Jules, these guys suffer from confirmation bias. Yeah. If it does not confirm what they want to believe, they reject the information, no matter how much proof that you show them. If it confirms what they want to believe, even if it's a lie and it doesn't make sense, they accept it. And that's just what it is with these guys.
We've made a lot of videos, me and you, about different angles of this thing. And one thing that I often cover is, they don't get those guys fight dates because they don't have it in the budget to keep them as active as some other promotional outfits do with their fighters. And what does Richardson Hitchens come out and say? They wasn't getting me fights. They wasn't getting me fights. And Hugo Centeno, when he spoke to Pheno Boxing like 2-3 years ago, he said the same thing, that I wish I would have been more active. That's a part of the reason why he wanted to branch out. And you can put this stuff in videos. You could show it to them, and they won't accept that information. It's complete denial because they're enamored with the idea of what Al Heyman is, when all he is another crook. He's just another boxing guy.
I mean, do you guys really think it's also that Wilder's his stocks definitely fell after losing to Fury twice?
I think so. I mean, honestly, I expected his fight, and I say it all the time. I really expected the Hellenius fight to do all right because I figured, at least 300,000 people will buy the fight, I think. And I was way wrong, bro. Matt, no, less than 100,000 people bought the fight. So I do have to concede that yeah, his stock is down, bro, way down.
I mean, I'm a Wilder fan, but I do know what he did in boxing affected him in boxing. I mean, you're not going to be Tom Brady, and when you're not making good plays and getting Super Bowls, you're going to be a different type of quarterback. So I think he's just in the lower bracket now.
I would say that the other thing about Wilder that I think a lot of people don't realize is his marquee value was never that up there to begin with. What it was is that they saw what the zone was willing to pay him, and they told themselves that, oh, this is money he could generate. No, bro, that was a good faith offer. You fighting Dominic Breazeale is really not a $20 million fight. They just willing to throw you that so that you come over and do this AJ fight, these AJ fights. That's what that was. But they look at that, oh, they offered him 20. He good for 20. And what Showtime did, they gave him some big cash guarantee for that shit, knowing that the fight is not worth that. So that the very next fight, what'd he do? He goes to Fox. And
I think Showtime. What it really is, Jules, Andrew Ruiz just beat the best person on his resume. And if he beats Andrew Ruiz, his stockpile will go. People will get the checks. I just don't believe you can be getting those checks off of those two losses that were detrimental to your career, majorly.
I mean, on one end, you look at it from the boxing angle, right? Let's just say that some people look at Fury, some, not all, but some. They look at Fury as the number one heavyweight. Well, the only guy that beat you is Fury, so it shouldn't be that bad, right? Because the only guy that beat you is the number one heavyweight to some. But for Wilder, it's extra bad because your marquee value was never all that to begin with. The most you ever sold was with that Englishman. You by yourself at the box office, no, you don't sell. We seen it. When you fought Ortiz for the second time, nobody bought that shit. And you just fought Hellenius. I thought people was going to buy that shit just because he's back after a year. Nope. Didn't buy that shit either.
Well, he's not a champ either, and he's literally got his brains beaten out of him in the last two fights. So the tough guy stuff is very hard to believe.
I mean, yeah, but when people fuck with you, they fuck with you, bro. Like Mike still retained value after he got beat by Buster Douglas. He had value after that, even though he lost and he got knocked out. He still had value after that. He was still in very big fights.
But you have to admit, Joel, once he beats Andrew Ruiz, the dude that didn't have to go another fight with Ortiz, I think his stock value will go up. I mean,
I don't disagree with you. If he could go in there and knock out Andy Ruiz, that will redeem him because Andy ain't never been stopped. And Andy knocked out Joshua, so it's kind of like, oh, look, he knocked out the guy that Joshua could not knock out. So it is value in that shit. But the story is he looked like he going in another direction. So what we supposed to say when you don't want to? This is what I brought up earlier. That why does Anthony Joshua get shamed for losing to Andy, and Wilder, he don't even want to fight Andy?
Because Andy is dangerous. I mean, we're starting to see it in boxing when people don't want to fight you. They're going to move around. Look at Canelo. Look at there's plenty of fighters who move around the danger. Like they're going to walk over.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, but see, we're not going to agree on that, bro. We're not going to agree that he was moving away from danger, moving away from Bivol, because if we do agree on something, it's that Bivol was solid going into that fight. Didn't you say you picked Bivol to win that fight?
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to go into the Canelo back and forth with you. I'm just saying I feel truly as a Wilder fan that Andrew Ruiz is a bigger threat with a lesser payday.
I'll concede that. I'll concede that he is a threat. I think he's a threat. But Wilder, even when I give him the benefit of the doubt, and this is the thing about Wilder, this was why I have a very low opinion of him. Even when I give him the benefit of the doubt, he fails. Like, bro, you were supposed to knock out Fury in that first fight. That was supposed to be it, bro. We wasn't supposed to get 2-3 fights out of that. You were supposed to do that because he was on a rebound. So that was supposed to be an easy one. And what that showed is like, yo, your power ain't what they say it is. You knocking him down don't mean shit because Steve Cunningham knocked him down. Nevin Pajcik knocked him down. You supposed to be up there with Foreman and them, right? You were supposed to knock him out. And you didn't do that. You didn't. He shouldn't have been able to get up and come forward and start mixing it up with you. The fact that he got up is already an indictment. Like, fam, you're not the heavyweight Julian Jackson. Stop it. Stop it.
But Tyson Fury is a top tier fighter. He's not no puppy dog. He's not no slouch.
Will you agree that that's one of the only top tier fighters he ever fought?
No, I do agree. But I knew going into that fight was going to be the hardest fight of Wilder's life.
What I'm saying is Wilder is not a dude that walked into a gym off the street. What doesn't get said is, you know that Wilder's an Olympian. You know that. And it's like you an Olympian and you actually medaled, all right? So you ain't Joe Blow that just walked into a boxing gym off the street. You actually have a pedigree. And for the first 7 years of your career, nothing that you would expect from an Olympian. Nothing that you would expect for a bronze medalist. And you look at Hrgovic, who I don't even think is all that, but he ain't all that. But you don't see all this filler and all these club fighters and journeymen. You don't see 32 cab drivers on his resume. You don't. And he's a bronze medalist. So it seemed to me that you just was always a protected fighter.
Okay, don't do that because he did have the Povetkin fight, and that fell through because Povetkin popped dirty. So
I would agree with you that it fell through because he popped dirty, but I will not agree to this. When Luis Ortiz popped dirty, didn't you reschedule the fight?
You're right. So I guess
why you couldn't do that with Povetkin?
Because they didn't allow it. Remember, he went out there and everything. I remember this by
Povetkin beat that shit. He beat that shit. The Meldonium shit.
He moved on to AJ.
No, I'm gonna tell you how it happened because you might have forgot. He gets popped for the Meldonium, but the explanation was Meldonium had just been added to the banned list. And you know, his explanation is he took it when it wasn't on the ban list. So they didn't know if it was still in his system because of that. Now, do I believe that shit? No, but that's what he said, and that's what they went off of. So he didn't get banned right away. It wasn't until the Stavern fight that he was supposed to have that he got banned for the Osterin, because that was on the ban list since 2006.
Yeah, I remember Stavern, he literally flew out there too.
Yeah, that's what really got him, you know, put on the shelf for a little bit. But the wildest shit, that's what I'm talking about. They're like, you acting bad about it with Luis Ortiz, who beat no one. The man didn't beat nobody. To this day, he didn't beat nobody. Beating Ruiz
Povetkin never beat nobody.
That's not true. Povetkin beat guys, bro. Look at his resume. He beat Takami. He beat Perez.
Easy dudes I would have had Wilder beat, man.
But he didn't beat them. You can't give him credit for fights that he didn't win.
Takam never really been in the eye, and because he's
Did Wilder beat Takam? Did Wilder beat Takam?
The only thing he's known for is damn near wobbling AJ and having a good fight with him and getting cheated.
I'm just asking, did Wilder actually beat these people that you believe he beat?
We're swaying away from the topic. I believe that he's acting like this, and I'm now a fan that is stepping to the side and realizing you can't get this money with Andrew Ruiz. Andrew Ruiz is at the top.
Can I say this, bro? The reason, there's a lot about Wilder that I don't like. You know that during the Klitschko reign, Americans did not give a fuck about the heavyweight division. They didn't. No. It was boring to the Americans. Not to me.
Wilder brought it back.
I'm going to disagree with you because no, Wilder didn't bring it back. AJ actually brought it back with the Klitschko fight. That's what made people start watching it again. Wilder was around from 2008, and he won the title in 2015. Nobody was watching this man. Most of his fans didn't know that he damn near got knocked out in Tuscaloosa, Alabama by a 5'11" journeyman. Most of them didn't know that.
America.
We were talking
about America. he did bring it back for America. AJ brought it back.
And I don't agree with that. You know why I don't agree with that? The biggest fights that Wilder was in that got him the most money and the most attention was with Fury. You couldn't do that. He couldn't do that on his own. He didn't do it on his own.
It was definitely Luis Ortiz for America.
Nah, I disagree.
For America that put him on the map, it was definitely Luis Ortiz.
I disagree.
Tyson Fury was the pinnacle of his career that he was supposed to win.
I disagree with that because and the Luis Ortiz fight did decent metrics on Showtime if you go back and look. A good amount of people did watch that fight. But it's hard for me to reconcile a statement that he brought back heavyweight boxing in America because of that one fight. Nah, it was you and Fury coming together that really got you popular. It was that. Like, that's when it was like, oh, shit. You know, it was a good fight, that first fight.
And the Dominic Brazil fight, too. You got to keep it real. The way he knocked him out really put in the internet. I remember those videos, the soul coming out the body.
I mean, no, you're right, because I did see, there was this guy, he used to do these really graphic, detailed videos, and he did the thing where his soul left his body. But by then, I felt, you know what I'm talking about, the dude on Twitter that he edits shit real good, and he did like the dude's soul coming out his body.
Yeah, no, what you're talking about. He did it for a lot of...
he did that for a lot of shit. But my thing is that you had already, the wave from the Fury fight, the wave from that's really what caught, you know, from the first Fury fight, the 325,000 bars from the first fight or whatever it was. And it's like, it seemed to me that if you would not have had that Fury fight, you probably wouldn't even popped. Because the weird thing about Wilder, all right, you fight Fury go to Top Rank, right? The rematch gets delayed. And you can't do nothing about it because it was a draw, so it voided the rematch clause. There's no loser. Nobody can invoke it. There's no loser. There's no winner. Nobody can invoke it. So Fury goes to Top Rank. He fights to whatever. And you was on pay-per-view after that. In the middle. You was on pay-per-view. But nobody bought that shit. So how can we say, yeah, he brought it back when off of your name, you had to sell that rematch with Ortiz? Nobody bought that shit.
I mean, I bought it. So
but you know what though? But Ortiz is the boogeyman of the heavyweight division.
Yo, look, shout out to Justin Young. He just sent me $1. I appreciate that, bro. Send a couple more just like that one, bro.
Okay, but Jules, catch this. We're talking about Wilder and Broner and all these people. To me, you know, Wilder is going to be that dude once you put yourself in the positions. I don't feel like he that dude right now to get that $30 million guarantee.
But he's not going to fight for less than that neither, bro. He's not going to fight. After he done made that, understand, Wilder has had about 8 or 9 surgeries to the same arm. And he's in his late 30s. He's pushing 40. He not going to fight for certain amounts of money, bro. He not going to start over. That's the main shit. And I said that from the get. You lose that belt, that's it, bro. You ain't going to be no 2-time heavyweight champion. That's it.
Exactly. He did. So I think his stockpile went down. No matter how you flip it, the pancake is still going to be what it is. He lost detrimentally. He lost detrimentally. You can go on YouTube right now and look at the worst loss. To me, he got the brakes all the way beat off of him. Tyson Fury took away his training wheels. He just looked like a child. So I think he's going to have to beat Andy Ruiz in a definite fashion.
No, I get exactly what you're saying because what you're saying is, and I'm not going to lie, bro. I bet money on Wilder the first fight and the second fight, and it was the way he lost. Yes. It was the way he lost. But what made it worse was all of the drama that went into him fighting Fury. The first fight, it ended up the way it ended, a draw. He dropped him in spectacular fashion. I mean, it was, and when Fury got up, and to add to what Jules was saying, was not only did he get up, but normally when someone gets knocked down like that and hurt or whatever, they're kind of groggy and they're trying to hold on to get their wits about them. No, Fury got up and he rushed Wilder and backed him up and got him on the rope. So that kind of showed him something. And then going into the second fight, I remember when they had the press conference, Wilder had the belt and he was like, don't you ever forget who brought you to big time boxing. I brought you back. I made you a star. Something he said, you was contemplating suicide, before you met me.
I remember that. I remember that. That was at the press conference.
So he said that. And that was the famous radio when he met Radio Raheem later on, he said to this day and all that stuff there. So it was
Dom, I gotta be real with you. Wilder was a gimmick from the get, and I've always thought that, bro. I just don't know how people can't see that this is an Olympian that needed 7 years for a Bemain-Stavern. That's a gimmick, bro. That's like the dude is a gimmick, like for real. Like you an Olympian, bro.
No, let's keep it real, Jules. The dude never started his boxing career at the stage of certain boxers. AJ and him have the same type of career.
I disagree because at 15-0, he was fighting guys that was in a divisional top 15 and top 10. That's the kind of guys that AJ was fighting just 3 years and 15 fights into his career. And if I go to Wilder and I look at, okay, well, who was Wilder fighting his first 3 years? I'm going to just see a lot of journeymen. I'm going to see a lot of upside down records. I'm not going to see the things that you see and you expect from an Olympian. And that's what he is. For some reason, people don't want to think about him as an Olympian. But that's what he is.
Because there wasn't that many heavyweights in America for PBC to get. It would literally have to be him going to the zone to get all those people he needed.
Not because the zone wasn't around. The zone wasn't around in 2000.
He was around he was around before Ortiz and after. 2 fights before Ortiz and after.
No. You misunderstanding. Wilder debuted as a professional in 2008. That means if I go forward 3 years in Wilder's career, it is 2010. It wasn't no DAZN. Now, all the money in the division, all the money at that time.
No, you mislistening. I said 2 fights before Ortiz and after. And all those dudes that were over there were Dillian White, Chisora, everybody, all the heavyweights was damn near in the UK.
But that's more reason that he should have won.
And I'm with you.
Look, the way boxing normally is, especially for a lot of foreign fighters, they go where the money at. Unless they could get money on their own, they go where the money at, which is how you supposed to do that. Like it's prize fighting, so you go where the prizes is at. And if the majority of the names and the people that need to be beaten so you could get money, so you could get somewhere, if they in Europe, then you got to go to Europe. The same way Devin Haney went to Australia to get them belts, the same way Fulton going to Japan to get them belts. That's how that's supposed to be. That's how you supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to just say, well, I'm going to just chill right here and ain't even nobody over here. Nobody over here is watching this division. The main man is in fucking Germany. You supposed to do that.
And that's what a lot of fighters need to know. And Bud and Bivol and Betterby, they all need to know, like, if you can't get it over there, you got to go somewhere else. So I think that's what a lot of fighters, but he was loyal to the soil, Al Heyman. Now that he's, not Al Heyman's favorite guy anymore, he's getting treated like a redheaded stepchild. And that's what you should be treated if you're not bringing in the type of money that you used to bring in. And he doesn't do that.
I mean, it's not only just that. He's not bringing in the type of money that he's asking for.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
You beat Inger Ruiz, you're going to get back to maybe 15 million guarantee, maybe 10, 25.
But for a 38-year-old man who's going on 38 going on 39, about 9 surgeries to the same arm, you know what I mean? The world title picture is congested. The guy that beat you, he still got a belt. He's still out here. It's like, I'm telling you, man, like we look at Wilder in very different spectrums. I see what I always saw. You a gimmick. You been a gimmick, all right? They trying to build you as a puncher that you not even. You don't hold no heavyweight records at all. Like for what? In what spectrum do you hold heavyweight records as a knockout artist? Shannon Briggs got the most first round knockouts, and you don't have more knockouts than Klitschko. Klitschko knocked out more people than you fought. He knocked out 53 men. You only fought 40 something. And you didn't even knock all of them out. You didn't knock out Stavern when you fought him. That went to a decision. You couldn't keep Fury down. You know what I mean? So I just see a guy in Wilder that if you gave every guy, right, all these guys that's at the top right now, gave them guys the same 32 fighters that Wilder fought, they would all have his record. They would all beat those guys. The Furtas and the Skonierses and them guys. Man, they would all beat them guys. If Chisora fought the same 32 guys that you fought, he would be the one with the hefty knockout percentage.
Yeah, but there is something that Don House said. I'll never forget this. This was when Bermain Stavern beat Chris Arreola. I think it was for the vacant title to become the WBC.
Yes, it was. Vitaly had just vacated it. That's right.
And they was interviewing Bermain Stavern, and you know who was right next to him? Don House. And he said, "House, come here." And the guy who was interviewing him was Ellie. And he said, you know, yeah, man, what do you think about Wilder, this and that? And Don House, who is Deontay Wilder's current trainer at the moment, he said, look, let me tell you something. The man don't had 30-something wins, 30-something knockouts. He said, but who is he fought? The man ain't fought nobody. This is what Don House said. This was in 2015. He said, listen, this is exactly what he said, Jules. He said, it's a known fact in boxing circles that Deontay Wilder had a very well choreographed career. This is what he said.
And he training him now.
Yeah.
And he training him now.
Can someone explain to me what is a baby champion? Do you remember when Shelly Finkel said that?
And that's what I mean. That, like, to me, what I see in Wilder is what I always saw. That, like, yo, dog, all them knockouts is matchmaking. That shit is not real. Demetrius King knocked out Bermain Stavern years before Wilder fought him. But when Wilder fought him, did he knock him out? No. You couldn't knock him out until he was inactive for 2 years in a rematch. I never thought Wilder was all that. Like, bruh, them same 32 guys. If you give AJ them same 32 guys, if you give Chisora them same 32 guys, they all gonna have the same record you got.
It's on camera. When Vladimir tried to make the fight with Wilder after he got the WBC.
And he was managing Klitschko too.
Yeah, four undisputed. Shelly Finkel said Wilder's a baby champion. What the fuck is a baby champion?
There's no such thing, bro. This dude was a professional boxer for 7 years. 30-something fights by 33. Had just beat Stavern. What do you mean he's a baby? A baby after 7 years? With a belt?
It's on camera, too. What's wrong with you?
And Shelly Finkel also said, I remember after that, I read the article. He said they wasn't even planning on fighting Klitschko for another couple of fights. He said they wanted him to have a couple of title defenses, maybe Povetkin, and they mentioned Fury, but they was like, nah, they wasn't planning on putting him in there with Vlad. So, I mean,
but AJ comes in 2013. By 2018, he has 3 of the 4 belts.
They don't have the same career, bro. They just don't. They
started boxing at the same age.
And that's not fanboying. That is just facts.
They both started when they were 18. And you can clearly see Joshua's career took one trajectory and Wilder took another.
Yeah. There's no – and what I hate about Wilder shit is Wilder is the kind of fighter, because he's an Olympian that medaled, he's the kind of guy that you supposed to have him fighting for a title, between 15 and 25, because he's an Olympian. He actually medaled. And it's just journeyman, a whole long line of journeyman. It's like, bro, that's protection, bro.
Yeah. AJ was like the tide that lifted all boats. He was the rising tide that lifted all boats because a lot of Wilder's like newfound, like a lot of his clout came from the fact that people wanted to see him fight AJ, even though it never happened.
Shout out to Anthony for the Cash App donation to the channel. Appreciate that. Wilder's a gimmick, man. And I never bought the gimmick. I tried to like him. I'm going to say circa 2016. I tried to give him a chance. But then I seen how he started acting with the AJ kid, and I'm not dumb, fam. You wasn't making $6-7 million a fight at that time. Joshua fans from the Olympics came over with him to the pros. So he had that kind of marquee value that he could give Charles Martin $7 million to come to the UK. You not that guy, bro. You're not that guy here. You're not that guy anywhere.
He was like ShamWow. He was like a gimmick. Like Vince Offer should be his promoter.
And be real,
because he was
No.
literally being built up as like the new era Tyson. Come see the amazing Wilder.
but nobody
knocking
knew
everything out.
Wilder
No,
until Joshua fought Klitschko. Facts? Is that fact?
He's the slap chop.
No, that's
Facts.
yo.
Facts. Thank you. Facts.
How you
Facts.
talk about it, bro? Like,
Yo, if it wasn't that fight, changed the whole boxing landscape. The Joshua Klitschko fight changed everything. And then as soon as Wilder went over there, he ran back home talking about, oh, Joshua, you running, you're hiding, you're ducking. That's where people started to pay attention to Deontay Wilder. He was nobody before then.
Exactly. Thank you so much, huh?
Yeah, Wilder. That's why I said he was the rising tide that lifted all the boats, because Wilder and Fury, their profiles shot up because people wanted to see him fight the guy who just knocked out Klitschko.
It's like, bro, like I'm tired of people acting like Wilder did something for the division. No, he didn't. You just rode AJ's wave after the Klitschko fight. This dude was that dude so much. People tend to forget this. Two American.
Okay, but Jules.
Hold on. Two American premium cable networks, two of them, HBO and Showtime, gave Matchroom $1 million a piece just to be able to show his fight in America. Just to be able, Wilder was not that guy, bro. It was off of that wave that he surfed it and rode it, and he got a little bit of buzz off of that.
People don't remember he was going to fight Warswick. Before the attention got focused on Wilder, he was going to fight Warswick, and Warswick popped positive. Remember the Polish guy? He wasn't fighting nobody. Then he started focusing on Ortiz because people was calling him Boogeyman and all that. Then he started focusing on Ortiz. Wilder's a complete gimmick, complete hype job. He's a complete joke.
Look, can I say this? Look, it's good. Go ahead, Dom. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll keep it real.
Damn. Al Heyman got him.
Shit.
What did I miss, fellas? Who are we talking about now?
We just talking about how, Wilder, he's basically he's skipping out on Andy Ruiz, and the question now becomes, if you're Andy Ruiz and the biggest fight that Al Heyman could have made for you was the Wilder fight, what the fuck you gonna do now?
This just makes me laugh. Like, I know a bunch of people are celebrating that Espinosa didn't get promoted but kept his job. But this is indicative of, like, you guys don't have 7 figures to guarantee each guy money for this fight because that's what they want.
The weird
so how is that a positive?
The weird shit.
Go ahead, Jules.
The weird shit is that you literally have Wilder complaining about money on camera. What more is it going to take for y'all to understand that, that shit ain't sweet over there, bro? Wilder literally complaining about money on camera. So what the fuck is it that you're not understanding?
They thought that they were gonna announce Tank Garcia at the Super Bowl. You think they have money for that, bro? Are you crazy?
It take like $3-4 million to get a Super Bowl ad.
I don't know what's more.
It's $7 million for 30 seconds.
You got to fight
$7 million for 30
They're gonna announce it at Tank's arraignment.
You got to fight between.
The bailiff is gonna be like, by the way,
you got to fight between Wilder.
Yo, who was that?
Yes.
Hey, Jules.
Yo.
Listen, I got to say something to everybody on the panel. I think you guys are hating on Wilder. Wilder is the hardest hitting heavyweight in the history of boxing. Wilder has fought 10 times more battles inside of the ring than Muhammad Ali, and 10 times more battles outside of the ring than Muhammad Ali, per Malik Scott. It is what it is. He beat the boogeyman of the heavyweight division, King Kong Ortiz. Nobody wanted to fight him. It is what it is. Even though that boogeyman stuff did come from Wilder, but that's neither here nor there. But I just think you guys need to just give him some props, man. I think you guys just cut it off.
He's first ballot Hall of Fame. He's Hall of Fame.
Listen, man. When it come like Ortiz's reputation, this is so weird. His reputation as a boogeyman came from Wilder not wanting to fight him in 2015. Other than that, like, bro, you not no boogeyman. You didn't fight nobody.
Wow.
How could you? He didn't fight. Like, if you look at Ortiz shit, bro, this man did not fight no one.
Jules, this is like the ultimate gimmick shit, though. Like, he created a boogeyman so that he could then knock out. That's crazy. Bro, that's like some circus shit.
Did Ortiz go through the like Hergovic gauntlet where everybody ducked him?
No.
Did that happen with Ortiz?
No. And the worst shit is that Ortiz is not a remnant of this era that we in. He's literally a remnant of the Klitschko era.
The Jack Johnson era.
That. And what killed me is you had a pecking order at that time. You had the Chaigev and the Povetkin and the Pulev and the Takam, these people, and the Chisora. How the fuck you been around this long and you ain't fight none of them? Who the fuck have you been fighting?
I mean, Jules, it's so out of this world that exactly what you're saying, I'm about to say, but I can explain it. Wilder, for a lot of people, is like one of the new branch heavyweights, if you know what I mean. Like, for some people, he's not being in the game for that much, but I think he's been for a long time, but then he's haven't fought nobody in order to like put him in a place. Like, oh, I remember when you started in 2008. Like, you don't have a fight to remember for that.
Yeah. How could you see? You look at Shakur, for example, right? Look at Shakur. He ain't been around that long, but he already has some fights that was blips on the radar. You know, he had a couple of fights that was blips on the radar. You look at Devin. He had 1-2 good fights. They were blips on the radar. These guys have not been around for 7 and 10 and 12 years. Wilder don't have a blip on the radar till like year 10.
If you don't know, look at his stablemate. That he's been, I mean, not as long as Wilder, but he's been in the game for like 10 years. But you haven't put nobody into his whatever wins he has into something solid until you can say, well, he had beat somebody, unless it's something like, media projected, and that guy's Benavidez.
But does anybody back here believe AJ beats Wilder?
I think he could.
I believe it's a 50-50 fight.
I believe AJ.
This Ruiz shit, Dom. I'm gonna say this shit. This Ruiz shit is really making me believe it more because I looked at Ruiz as a guy that Wilder could beat. Like, I really feel like, he could catch him with that right hand. He could catch him. And the fact that you're not doing that when that's supposed to be easy one. Come on now. You're supposed to be able to do that.
I'm a boxing fan. I know that Andrew Ruiz, his best way to win will get on the inside. AJ Wilder, when you're on the inside with Wilder, it's kind of like a man trying to fight a bee. He can't really get you off.
But Dom, don't it mean nothing to you that he don't want to do that?
No, what I see is, just like I see in a lot of these fighters that I'm not going to mention, he knows he can lose to a low risk, no high reward. He wants a high reward for a high risk because Andy is super risk.
But the problem is,
one at a time, fellas. Don't jump on him one at a time. Go ahead.
The problem is, one, he's not a high reward. And two, we don't even know what Wilder is left because we saw 60 seconds of a fight with his sparring partner.
No,
We've seen more from AJ being still capable at an elite level and doing better in a rematch with Usyk than anything else.
I said one a day.
Okay, I think you missed me. I said Andrew Ruiz is obviously he's not gonna get his big payday he's used to with Andrew Ruiz. He's going to be a low reward and a high risk. He's obviously complaining about it.
But a high risk for Andy Ruiz that got dropped by Chris Arreola, I don't see that as high of a risk.
There you go.
I mean,
and that's what I'm getting at. If Wilder really was, my thing is, if Wilder really was what people want him to be or what people say he is, you go in there, you handle that, you get that bag, and then move on to the next big bag.
Yeah, but there's plenty of fighters that we can name right now that aren't going right back to high risk motherfuckers. They're not going to high risk motherfuckers.
Wilder's only ever had 2 high risk fights in his whole career.
And Andy Ruiz is his biggest bag. Andy Ruiz is his biggest bag right now. The Chicano fans is going to support him. Yes, besides Ngannou, right now, and AJ, right now, Andy Ruiz is his biggest bag. Y'all keep saying it's not a good fight or it's not going to sell. The Chicano fans is who sells boxing, who buys boxing.
But I think with Wilder,
let me correct you right there. We didn't buy Andy's last 2 pay-per-views, and I'm just saying, like, it's like this. That's the bag for both of them. But obviously, what's going on? They both, what I can tell, they both want 7-figure guarantees for this fight, and that ain't fucking happening.
That. But when you put them together, maybe.
Well, that's why I was saying, like, in the last time we discussed, is that Wilder should go to the UK. Like, that's where all the money is.
Bro,
he'd have to take a risk.
Listen, this is what I think. If Wilder's smart, right? If Wilder's smart, and I don't think he's smart. I don't think Shelly's smart neither. But if Wilder was smart, you get Eddie on the phone. Yo, I got 3 years left in my career. Can I get some money? Yes. Let's get this motherfucking Dillian White fight popping. We're going to do it at the O2. We're going to build it as a grudge match. This ain't about no belt. Fuck a belt. This the fuck you up fight. All right? Now, you could beat Dillian White. He's been knocked out 3 times, bro. Okay? If you not confident, then retire. Then retire. You know, Andy got a chin. I understand. Andy got a chin, and if you get inside, you might be in some shit. All right, bang. Then go in there with Dillian. Dillian been knocked out 3 times. If you can't handle that, fuck it, bro. Wrap it up. Go fight for
it. It would be actually, hold on, Jules. A Julian fight with an AJ and a Franklin fight. That would be a perfect come together fight. Because obviously people believe Franklin won, and obviously people believe Dillian White will be the biggest person on his resume. I think the AJ Wilder needs to happen. I think that's what he's really wanting. But he's not going to get it.
Wilder could fight Chisora in the O2 and
what everybody
out.
Facts.
What everybody
that's real.
Let's not do
whatever.
No, but you know that's real.
What everybody's missing.
He can't go down like that.
What everybody's missing is Wilder thinks by just getting that rebound win that he's still entitled to the money that was on the table before, and that's not on the table anymore.
No.
But bro, I've been saying that.
It's worse than that, Drew. I said it to Dom before you jumped on. He was never good for that money, bro. You was never good for that. How do I know? They gave you 30 mil. They gave Fury 30 mil. What Bruce Trampler said after the fight? Yo, that shit flopped. That we lost money on that. That's not my imagination. He said that shit. So if you was really good for that money, they wouldn't have lost no bread. They lost bread because you not a $30 million fighter.
Also,
Wilder's kicking himself in the ass because Shelly Finkel has advised him out of $170 million between the Rock Nation and the DAZN contract.
That dude is a boat, like for real. And look, I don't even want to say that about the fighter. I'm gonna say Shelly Finkel is a bozo. Like for real though, you a bozo because he the fighter. He supposed to be in the gym training, right? You supposed to do the thinking and get him the bag. You know that Europe got the bags. Dillian White, that's a big fight in the O2. Make that fight. Instead of scrambling out here for $80 pay-per-views and shit that you know people ain't gonna buy. Go to the UK.
Jules, let me be the asshole and ask the crazy question. If Wilder would have signed for the $100 million deal, you think them together, not Wilder himself, we all know the answer is no for that, but them together, Wilder and Joshua, you think they would have brought that money back?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something, and motherfuckers don't hear me. I wholeheartedly believe if they would have made that fight, that would have broke all the records.
I think so too. I think so.
Let me finish. That shit would have been bigger than Maypac.
No, it wouldn't have.
Yes, it would have. Yes, it would have. Yes, it would have.
But Wilder didn't have fans like that.
No.
Wilder didn't have fans like that.
It's nothing. You don't understand. It's nothing like a heavyweight fight.
Yes,
it's nothing like it. And you need to remember, they was both unbeaten. They was both in their prime. They was both knockout artists. It was for Undisputed. He got an army of fans in the UK, and Wilder's building an army in the US.
After the Joseph Parker fight, that would have been the biggest thing ever.
Bro, I'm trying to tell you, motherfuckers don't understand.
I believe it wouldn't be the biggest fight that's bigger than Earl and Bud is Wilder and AJ right now. Even if they fight, I feel like Wilder and AJ would do better numbers.
Oh yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
800 plus, I think right now.
Understand me. Fill me on this. If you did that fight right now, and you could do it as a transatlantic pay-per-view, that it's a pay-per-view in America and it's a pay-per-view in the UK, I promise you. I fucking promise you. It does $1 million there. It does $1 million here. I promise you it does. I promise you.
Bud and Earl will barely do 400,000.
No, if Triple G and Canelo did the numbers that they did, I'm telling you, he's right.
Please, can we just stop bringing up Errol and Bud in comparison to anything, please?
It's factual.
But no, I'm talking about it's not factual. I'm saying why don't even bring them up. They don't even matter in that scale. They're irrelevant.
We compared it. So
that's not even a fair comparison. You're disrespecting Wilder and AJ to compare that fucking flim flam nickel and dime pay-per-view to that fucking super fight.
Motherfuckers don't want to listen. Motherfuckers don't want to understand. And I see what the Chuck dude's saying. Chuck, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, first of all. If you would have did that bitch in 2018, 2019, I'm telling you, that shit would have broke records. AJ broke records with fucking Klitschko, bro. Imagine in the UK with Wilder and in America. You think 1 million Americans wouldn't have bought? Yes, they would.
That fight could have been in Nigeria. That fight could have had a site fee in Nigeria, yo.
Bro, that shit, that would have, I'm telling you, that fight, the health of the sport, especially in America right now, it would be in a very different place if that fight would have happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well.
Yo, Jules,
heavyweight boxing.
If Wilder and Joshua would have fought, instead of Wilder wouldn't bring a feud out of the cockhouse, these guys would have built actually, even if it wouldn't be a trilogy, maybe just 2 fights, it would be way bigger than these two than Wilder. Fury.
Listen, the dude Chuck in the comments, if Wilder sold 800,000 with Fury in the second fight, what do you think he would have did with AJ? Think about it.
None of those fights were in stadiums either.
No, but the thing is, even back then, ESPN, Fox was making free publicity to these dudes. Even, bringing that conversation all of a sudden. And it's even on tape that Joshua, he wanted to fight, but then Wilder was with his rigorous shit.
I just want to know, Chuck, if Chuck will click the link, because I want him to explain why he feels the way he does with evidence.
Yeah, I mean, like, shit, I could fucking pull up the shit where they broke records. Joshua and Klitschko broke records in the UK to date. That's what holds the pay-per-view record. Joshua and Klitschko.
It's fucking embarrassing for the PBC that a heavyweight's complaining about money, because as far as everybody knows, the heavyweights, they support the sport. They sustain the sport. Sometimes they might not be they might not be the most popular, but they sustain any sport. Any stable has a noticeable heavyweight in their stable. So
and that's what has
money. And that's what has Golden Boy has a heavyweight?
No.
And that's what has me laughing, bro. But that's what has me.
Let me read the super chat. Edward Cruz says, "Did you guys see Tank injured and in a wheelchair?" Yeah, but he got up and started dancing in response to it, so he's not. He can't really be injured. Like, I seen his response to the shit. Will said that fight could happen on a Monday morning at 4 a.m. and I'd still buy and watch AJ versus Wilder to this day. That's one of the ones I've been dying to see. Yeah, like, I don't know what the fuck that Chuck dude talking about.
I ain't talking about. They're all talking about nonsense. They're deflecting from what deflecting what Wilder's saying to focus on Espinosa keeping his job. That's what's going on right now. That's the focus.
No, the focus is that Wilder ain't that type of guy.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what the Wilder defenders are doing. They're not talking about what he said. They're talking about what happened with Espinosa today.
Man, listen, man. I
don't really see it.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that.
It doesn't really matter because
the point is, if you would have did that fight at that time when it was hot and it was at a fever pitch, that shit would have did monster numbers, bro. It would have did ridiculous numbers. Ridiculous.
Hey, Jules, I got a question.
I truly believe that.
Let's say that he fought Andrew Ruiz and AJ fought Franklin. He would literally have to go to the UK because the zone doesn't have it in America. So I think that's what it would have to be anyways. It would have to be the zone.
The thing is that Wilder is a Finkel and Wilder are idiots, bro. They're bozos. Like, the zone came to America basically throwing money at people, just throwing ridiculous money. They wasn't even worth it. Y'all gave Jose Ramirez 4 M's Y'all gave Jose Ramirez. They gave Mikey 7 M's.
They offered Tevin Farmer 7 M's.
Yeah, Tevin Farmer got 4. He got 4. He got 4 M's.
It's where it's like, yo, you seen that they coming over here, they throwing all these crazy ass numbers at people, and you don't take it because you still got Al Heyman. And I remember an article I read at the time that they said Al Heyman leaned over to him at the DAZN meeting, and he was like, that's nothing. That's Mayweather camp money. That's what he told him, which I believe, because I've always believed the main thing Al Heyman start talking about to these guys is Floyd. I always thought that, like, you know how he keep him in check? He starts talking about Floyd and Floyd's money. Wilder, you not Floyd, bro. You need to get that 100 mil. Nah, they talked you out of that. You a dummy, bro. Like, you a dummy. You got your whole ass whooped for 30 mil.
But Jules, that's all
3 times.
They did the Joseph Stalin erase Lou DiBella out the picture shit because he tried to make that fight.
Kick them out the limo, Jules. You can't come with us in the limo now, bro.
Oh, and he's still trying to make nice with them and shit. That shit killed me. Like I remember the interview he did right after that. He's like, "What did I do that was so wrong? I was just trying to get him the best deal. That's what I was trying to do." Talking, you know, because he talked mad fast. Like, bro, like them dudes. And Shelly Finkel, immediately after rejecting the deal, he was interviewed by Fight Hype, and what did he say? He didn't say the money wasn't real. He said, "Oh, don't nobody watch DAZN, bro. What do you care? The money is real. Who fucking cares?"
Shelly Finkel, what I believe now, Jules, is they're just mad that they offered them flat fee, like that bullshit of like, well, what's AJ making? Like, blur, AJ got an equity deal. Mind your business.
Yeah. Like the truth is that it's people, you can't convince them in no shit, right? And that's cool that I can't convince you in no shit. But it's never gonna be me coming to you to listen to you. It will be you coming to me to listen to me. Because you know I know what the fuck I'm talking about, so talk that shit in the comments. You won't click the link. And ain't nobody
but
listening.
I know one thing.
He's talking to you,
Wilder
Chuck.
would definitely be AJ.
I don't agree with I still don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
The reason I don't agree with that is because if you most of Wilder's fans I don't know what Dom hasn't seen, but I noticed that most of Wilder's fans really don't know him before 2014, 2015. And if you watching this guy, bro, yo, this dude is trash.
Garbage.
But
The only fight that he showed skills in, the only fight that he showed boxing skills in was the Vern first fight. That's when he was on the back foot.
Hayam, not even that. Hayam, we can go.
That too.
And I can counter your counter, so go ahead.
Garbage, dog. The guy's garbage, dog.
The only fight we seen AJ use his boxing skills was when he had to evasively run from Andrew Ruiz.
What are you talking about?
No, what are you talking about? Let's call it what. Okay, let's go with this. Both Wilder and both AJ got their ass kicked and went back for a rematch. Who improved more over the rematch between Wilder going to Fury for the 3rd time and AJ going to Usyk for the 2nd time?
Is that not even that? Not even that.
I'm talking about just recently.
Let me champ the shit. Joshua's a 2-time heavyweight champion, bro. That's not my imagination. He did that. He a 2-time
unified.
All right.
Okay.
Wait. The list of fighters in the heavyweight division. Don't believe me? Look it up. The list of fighters in the heavyweight division that won a title after they lost it. That is a short fucking list, bro. It's very short, right? Wilder, I knew Wilder. You not built for that. You don't have it to do that to win the title back. You're not that guy, bro. Now look at him. You running from a Ruiz fight, bro. You running from a Ruiz fight. AJ fought that motherfucker twice. They won and won. You don't even want to know. It's not enough money. No, you scared, bro. You don't want to do it. If you felt you was gonna knock him out as easily as you knocked out Hellenius, you would have did that. You don't want to do that. You trying to fight Ngannou from the MMA with the chokehold.
I got to say something real quick that came out. Boxing Scene just said Canelo's taking a pay cut for his next fight, so we might not have a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'll figure that. He's a smart man.
Well, if he's fighting in Mexico, someone has a crazy echo. But if he's fighting in Mexico, he'll definitely need to take a pay cut.
Who mic is that?
Jules, is there a reason why Canelo was his commercial was on the Super Bowl?
Because he's the face of boxing. That's why. Same reason Marvin Hagler was doing Domino Pizza commercials when I was a child.
Yep, yeah, you're right about that. Hagler was.
Doing Domino's. Same reason Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran was doing Sprite commercials. Face of boxing.
Yo, that echo.
Who got the fucking mic up with the browser open?
I don't know, man.
But Jules, so we're getting DAZN. We're getting Bam Rodriguez, Canelo, and AJ no pay-per-view within a span of 6 weeks.
Oh my God, listen.
And Ortiz, Stanionis.
I'm done arguing with the pretend people that pay for Showtime. I'm done with that. Like, fam, if you telling me you don't want to see Lara versus Wood, you don't want to see Bivol versus Buatsi, you don't want to see Stanionis versus Ortiz, which just got announced, you don't want to see Joshua versus Franklin, you don't want to see Canelo versus Rada. Brody, you're not a boxing fan, so I don't need to talk to you. This is a boxing channel. You telling me you don't want to see none of that? Hey, you're not a boxing fan. I don't know what you are. You're not a boxing fan. You're not going to tell me that Frank Warren on BT got more than that. You're not going to tell me that you down to pay $80 4 times for Showtime. Like, nah, fam, you bullshitting. If you telling me that you're not going to watch all of that, you're not even a boxing fan. What am I talking to you for?
Bro, these guys really only watch like 3, maybe 4 divisions max.
Not even that, bro. They steal the fights, and even remember, Jules, even Oscar would go off pay-per-view. That Stevie Forbes fight he came back for, straight to HBO. Oscar knew what was up.
Yeah, the other thing is that I noticed that a lot of these guys that make obtuse arguments, they think because they talking, they saying something, or that they convinced. Like you could say a bunch of shit and not convince nobody. You're not convincing me of no shit. I could take a poll right now for the Fury fans. I could take a poll right now. Who you blame for this Usyk shit? It's gonna come back Fury every single time. Now you still gonna have motherfuckers that want to argue on Fury behalf, but that shit don't matter because if I ask people, yo, who fault is this shit? Fury. It's the majority. That's what the overwhelming majority of people are gonna tell you. So we got to stop giving guys airtime just because they got something to say. Like, bro, you're not saying shit. Not saying shit.
Yo, April's looking
young with you, Jules, on that.
Who got that echo, man? That shit bad.
I don't know.
I'm on mute.
Muted my mic. I muted my mic just to see if it was me. It wasn't me. I muted my mic.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, like a lot of this shit is silliness. Like you telling me that Frank got something on BT that's better than that schedule? You telling me that Showtime that's charging you roughly $300 for 4 fights? You tell it, well, really not 4 fights now because Wilder versus Ruiz don't look like it's gonna happen. It's like, fam, like, come on now, like, who you lying to? Who do you think believes that shit? Shit is childish, bro. A lot of that shit is just childish, to be real.
Look what Westside said. That's funny as shit.
Yo, Jules, I got a question for you. I got a question for you real quick. You know how we all grow up, we all hear these cliches and little things that people say, history repeats itself, blah, blah, blah. Are we looking at, right now, this is a legitimate question, are we looking at the Ali versus Foreman, the next fight, the next reiteration of that right now, with Usyk versus Fury? Do we think that Usyk is going to walk in there and somehow fucking destroy Fury on the low? Like, is he going to knock Fury out?
I mean, I don't equate this to Ali versus Foreman because the dichotomy was very different.
I'm talking about the giant. You know,
nah, but I still don't. You know what? One of the key elements of that fight between Ali and Foreman was the Frazier fight. That, like, damn dog, like Frazier took your belt and you fought him for 15 rounds. Fucking George, he destroyed that man.
Destroyed him. Yeah.
Destroyed. We don't have that with this. You know what I mean? Like they don't really. Y'all both fought Chisora. You know that. You know, like.
And then even that, like, I'll name drop. I'm about to go have dinner with Steve and a couple of trainers. for George and Ali, you had actual trainers, boxing pundits, professionals thinking Ali was crazy. You ask boxing professionals in the biz now, there's no advantage that Fury has over Usyk boxing wise. He only has the height and the size. That's it.
But as giants, does it exist a little bit as giant?
I mean, like, look, you know the visuals of it. They are compelling.
Yeah, you know what I'm
saying? It is David and Goliath in a visual.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You
in a visual
exactly
so I see what you mean, but it's different because look, people really thought that George was gonna kill Ali, bro. They thought he was gonna die in that fight, bro. Motherfuckers really don't think. Motherfuckers don't really think Fury is like chill. He not gonna kill Usyk. He probably gonna clinch him a lot. He not gonna kill him. He not gonna kill him. He just gonna hold a lot. That's all.
My question is like surrounded around the devastation. Like, is he gonna devastate Fury? Is he going to just devastate him to where we didn't see this coming? Oh my God, fucking Usyk made him look like I thought. Earlier today, one of your guys on the panel said that we're going to appreciate AJ's fight against Usyk more after he fights Fury, and we see how much trouble he gives Fury. I agree with that.
I mean, I
wanted to know what you thought about it.
I think it's possible that because boxing is weird. You know, styles make fights, and boxing be weird sometimes. They're like, yo, look, he went in there and he made AJ look basic. And you never know. He might go in there and make Fury look basic too. Maybe he make him look even more basic because the things Fury good at, he good at them things, and you not better at them things than he is. You just bigger, but you're not better at them things than he is. So maybe it's possible that he go in there and he just better in every department. I don't rule it out because that's what Usyk is. Usyk is the one you don't see coming. That's what he is.
I think he's a sniper in the middle of the night. I think he's the most focused heavyweight we've seen in a very long time, and he's got the physical attributes to back it up. Enough of the physical attributes to back it up. I think he gives Tyson Fury fits. I think he might even drop Tyson Fury.
The other shit is I can't take a fight while people try to talk up Fury like he's just the perfect heavyweight that ever lived. My God.
No.
That Berlin fight don't tell that story, bro. Like, and that wasn't 10 years ago or 20 years ago, like McDermott, the way it was just a different phase of your career. That shit wasn't that long ago, bro. So spare me, like, nah, B. This dude is just an opportunist. That's what he opportunist.
To be honest, the Chisora fight don't tell that story. The third Chisora fight don't tell that story. He was getting in there a little bit here and there. So yeah, like it don't tell that story either. So I don't know, man. Like what everybody's seeing.
It's not that Fury isn't a good fighter. You know, he is a good fighter. If he wasn't a good fighter, we wouldn't want to watch him fight Usyk. You know, if he was a piece of trash, we wouldn't want to.
It's just that they talk about him like he's not vulnerable, like he's impregnable, like you can't touch him.
And the shit nauseating, and that shit is nauseating because it's like, bro, come on now. If everybody took a 2-year hiatus and then they fought Pianetta and the other guy and Safari. Come on, B. Like, it's some other shit with that. Because the guys that like Fury, what I notice is a lot of the guys that like Fury, it ain't no boxing shit. It's just you like that he's a fat, bald guy. Yeah. It ain't no boxing shit. It's just you like that he fat and he don't really look like he be in the gym. And you identify with that because you probably don't be in the gym neither. You know what I mean? He got a cocaine habit. A lot of the guys that like Fury, look at him. These is guys that really like coke. So, come on, B. Like,
I think he's vulnerable. I think he's vulnerable to a volume puncher that could put pressure on him and cut off the ring. I think he's vulnerable.
Jay Flint asking what I think about Rocky. I think Rocky was good for his time, but I don't call Rocky a hype job. I just say that he was good for his time because the heavyweights got progressively bigger, and I think he would have been able to hang with a few of them. But it's hard for me to imagine that if it's Rocky Marciano and Joe Frazier, that Joe not going to knock him out. Now, I think Joe would have knocked him out because Rocky was just not a big guy. He was not a big guy, man. He wasn't.
I put him. Rocky. I always said I think Gassiev knocks him out. I think Gassiev knocks out. Because they're the same.
You know, Gassiev is bigger than Rocky Marciano,
and he hits harder, and he hits a lot harder.
You know, and I don't say that, and I don't say that to be unfair to Rock. That's why I always say he was good for his era. You know, Rex Lane, he beat Ezra Charles, he beat a very, well, I ain't gonna say he was.
I tried to give him a good person to go against. I gave him a decent person to go against. Gassiev knocks him out, yo.
You seen the picture? What happened to his nose in that fight, bro? That shit was. Come on, and there was heavyweights in that era. They weighed 175, 179. They would have been like heavyweights damn near in this era, or just under cruiserweights. It's a different time. I think he was good for his time, but I don't rank him that high on the all-time great list.
Me neither. Only because I hate to say this, but it's also because of the Bob shit and all of that. I know there's fixed fights and all that.
That's the other thing that you got to use a little bit of common sense. You don't think they fixed some of them fights? You don't think they fixed them? Come on now,
so I can't.
Like I don't want to say that
to him. You know what I mean?
But it is a reality of that era. The mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just reality, bro. Like,
but I think Gassiev is 200 pounds for real. And he hurts. Like I said, what's his name? Chris Arreola said Gassiev hit him harder than anybody he ever fought. And this man fought Vitali and people like that.
Vitali, he fought Wilder, and a cruiserweight was the hardest puncher that he ever fought.
Yeah, Gassiev is a monster, man.
That dude got a fight coming up too in Russia.
Finally, is it at heavyweight?
Yeah, but it's like he had like 2 fights at heavyweight. He fought a guy named Michael Valish, like over a year ago. It's like he a transient, bro. He'll have a fight, then you don't see the motherfucker for like a year and a half. I don't know what the fuck going on with him, but he do have a fight coming up. He do, but ain't nobody going to sanction that shit though, because of the war.
Russian stuff. Yeah,
nobody going to sanction that shit.
Okay, but when he did to Daughter Coast, I know that this guy is a problem, yo.
For real, like. I'll say Rock was good for his time. I don't want to shit on him, but he was good for his time. He was good for that era. That was a long time ago. It was a different division. The landscape was different, and what it meant to be a heavyweight was different. That's the most I could say. I don't like. I would say I rank him top 15, but I don't feel comfortable top 10. I don't feel comfortable. I'll put him top 15.
Top 15 of all time. Rocky Marciano was a heavyweight.
You could kind of do that.
Damn, son, that's
kind of because think about
it. A lot of grease on that wheel, B.
Chill, because if you think about it, let's think about the top 10. No order, just top 10. You gonna have Joe Louis. You gonna have Ali. You gonna have Larry Holmes. You gonna have Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
You might have Sonny Liston, I think. You might.
Yeah, you got Sonny Liston, Mike Tyson. I don't know about Floyd Patterson though.
Not Floyd Patterson.
No.
You might have I don't know.
Evander Holyfield.
Ernie Shavers?
Nah. He never won a title. He never won a title.
Really?
He never won a title.
Shit. I would have put him up there.
And that's like I'm saying. Joe, but that's
George Foreman. We didn't name George Foreman.
George Foreman, that's another one.
Larry Holmes.
That's what I'm saying. I named them, and that's already right there. That's already like 7 names right there. Not counting Mike Tyson, not counting Vitali, not counting Vladimir.
Joe Frazier.
Vitali got to be in there. Joe Frazier, he didn't name. Vitali got to be in there, and no, not Vitali. Vladimir got to be in there.
That's what I'm saying. That if I add all these names in this particular order, and then I look at, hey, shut up, shit, can't think. If I think about all them names, I'm like, yo, did he really have a better career than them? Though the only thing that I see that the argument that they might make is, oh, well, he was undefeated. Yeah, but he retired at 32.
The problem is people put Vladimir at the end of the list, and if Vladimir is your gatekeeper at the list, he's hard. Nobody can get past Vladimir. Vladimir is way too hard to get past. If he's your gatekeeper at the end of your list, it's way too hard to get past him.
Imagine, come on, Rocky was going to get past the jab and grab, really? Nah, bro.
No,
let me add to that. Is Emmanuel Stewart the greatest trainer of heavyweight fighters?
I think he's I think he's up there. I think he's up there.
How many guys does he have on that
what's
list?
his name? Archie. What's his name?
Archie Moore.
No, but how many guys in that
one.
list you just mentioned, Jules? How many are Emmanuel Stewart guys?
A lot of them, actually.
A lot of them.
Eddie Futch.
That's another one. George Foreman's old trainer. You got put him.
And Ken Norton.
No, what was Ali's trainer? With the
Angelo Dundee.
Angelo Dundee. Yeah, that guy. Come on,
Crocodile Dundee.
So you got the Klitschko brothers. You got Lennox Lewis. Who else you got for Emmanuel?
You got to put Fury in there for Emmanuel.
You got to put Fury.
Tommy Hearns.
No,
I'm talking about heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
Why would you put Fury in there?
Because he started over there with them. Yeah.
Started over there with them.
He started over there. So did Vladimir. So did blah, blah.
I don't think
even Wilder was there.
Yeah, but he was never an Emmanuel Stewart fighter.
But he was there.
But he was in the gym.
He was there. He was in the gym. He was
there. But you know what? It's like with Fury, you could say that. Look, one way or another, he's a byproduct of Kronk because look at who's training him now, Sugar Hill Stewart. So
what about Customato? Because he had Floyd Patterson. And
I believe he needs to be in there because he trained 2 times. He trained the youngest heavyweight champion in the world.
Yes,
before it was Floyd Patterson, and then it was Mike Tyson.
Yes.
He didn't have a lot of fighters though. He didn't.
But I will say his peekaboo style is a young man style. His peekaboo style is a young man style. I will say that.
Very influential though.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. He groomed the icon, bro. Icon of the sport. Who's bigger than Mike? The only guy that come close to being as big as Ali is Mike.
Yeah, it's Mike.
That's it. Those two
I used to argue that Mike Tyson made more boxes than Muhammad Ali. I used to argue that. I don't know if it's true now, but I used to argue that.
Will says context matters in lists like the best of all time or all-time hitters. For example, Primo Carnera holds the record for the most KOs of a heavyweight champ, but is never mentioned. Primo Carnera, that's the dude that Maxie Bear beat the shit out of.
You know who else I'd add to the trainers list? Ray Arcel.
Ray Arcel, yeah.
Ray Arcel.
Because he had Jim Braddock and he also had Larry Holmes.
Oh, okay.
Didn't he have Durant for a little while?
Yeah, he made Durant basically, and I think he had Joe Frazier too for a period.
Who was Riddick Bowe's trainer?
I remember his promoter was Rock Newman. I don't remember who his trainer was.
I trained him.
You trained him? You did a good job, Julio. Like I admire what you did, man. Like it's really good, man. Shit.
Even that guy would beat Fury.
Bro, a lot of them guys would beat Fury because Fury is not all that, bro. It's not all that.
Riddick Bowe, I'd probably say he cleaned Fury out, honestly. Skill wise,
bro, Fury is not that guy, bro. Now we got a good fight. We got a good fight this weekend with Wood versus Lara.
Ooh,
still leaning towards Lara. I ain't gonna front.
CTE fight.
The CTE fight for the ages, bro.
Man, I gotta say, well, what's his name? Wood's confidence. I really love it, bro. Good for him.
That's a real fight. Like
a real fighter.
You don't have no reason to be fighting this dude, bro. Why are you doing? Like, I almost wanted him not to. Like,
that
bro,
is a real fighter, and he's getting a fan for life, bro.
For real,
he's about to die, but he's getting a fan.
Bro, I told you, ain't nothing going to be left in the ring but that perm he got. So that's all it's going to be. Once Mauricio land on him, that's all it's going to be left. Is over.
Yeah, I think it's going to be back and forth until Mauricio just puts his lights out.
Yeah, you think he's just going to try to box him?
I think it's a left hook. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I can see that. I
think it's a left hook at the end of a combination.
I think he going to feel the power, and then he going to shell up. And when he shell up, he going to start getting hit. Left hook going to get in, and he going to go out.
I really feel like Lara's number one at 126. That's just me.
Yeah, I don't see now that Navarrete is gone.
Now Navarrete is gone? Yeah.
Luis Lopez don't hit like Lara, bro. When Lara hit, hard, man. Luis Lopez is like, I ain't going front. I think he was a little bit overrated. Like he didn't look as dominant as I thought he would in the Warrington fight. It's like, bro.
Yeah, he's like relies a lot on his athleticism.
Real shit. And he doesn't hit that hard. But yeah, Navarrete's gone. He's at 130. I got this question for y'all. Chaim wasn't here for this yesterday. Chaim, who you think is the best 130 pounder?
Oh yeah, I was hearing a little bit of it. I was listening in the background. 130-pounder. I still want to go with my man. Because I think his skills is up to par. I still want to go with Cordina, yo.
Cordina's the number one. You think that's the best in show at 130? Not Oscar Valdez. Not
I know Oscar
ready.
Valdez got more. Oscar Valdez has more experience, more wins. He on paper, he's the best. But skill-wise in the ring, I think Cordina outpoints him and hurts him.
Son.
I think Cordina. This is my pick. I gotta. Cordina got something to him, man. Cordina is a little bit special. I don't like many fighters from the UK, but I like the ones that got edge on them. They got a little edge to them. Cordina is one of them, and I think he's really good, man. I think he's really good.
I think Oscar's at least number 2 in the division right now.
I feel like he's not to me. This is the thing. I feel like he's gonna beat Navarrete, right? So that's
I think so too.
So that's influencing what I think. And I'm like, look, man, this dude, everybody ain't going to Shakur this dude, bro. Like, nah, everybody can't do that. The Oscar,
Can I ask you real quick, Ring? Did you feel like he's going to beat Navarrete because you feel like Navarrete power didn't really travel up to 130?
I think his power did travel up. I think that's the
only thing that traveled up.
Yeah. My thing with Navarrete is he's accustomed to having a length advantage at 122 and 126 that he could lunge and he don't pay for it because he's tall enough and long enough that he could get away with, like leaning over his lead foot and shit like that or hyperextending. But now that you in there with some guys and, some of them hit hard. You found that out with Wilson. Some of these guys, they hit hard. If you do that shit with them, you're going to get counted. And I feel this one going to go like the Burchell fight. That's how this is gonna go with Valdez. Like he gonna do to you what he did to Burchell. That's what I see. You gonna try to come on strong, and he gonna hit you with some short shit on the inside, and you gonna feel different because he's acclimated to this division, and you not.
And Navarrete has been looking human recently, right?
Since 126, bro. The Baez fight, he looked human. The Wilson fight, let's be real. You should have lost. Let's be real. You should have lost.
Okay, fair enough. I'm with you with that.
Rakhimov is a really good fighter too. He might be number 3 actually.
Rakhimov is alright, but
I still think Cordina does it though. I still think Cordina is the top.
That's the best fight at 130 right now.
Yeah, I think Cordina is very good, man.
Nah, you wilding. The best fight at 130 is Valdez.
I said right now, Valdez.
You mean right now? You mean the best fight that's made? Right
no,
now.
I mean like a no. I mean like a technical fight to see like who's really the best at 130. I think it involves Cordina. I think Cordina is very good, yo.
Let's see what he do. I'll tell you what. I'll be fair. Let's see how he handle Rakhimov. If he handle him real good, then I'm with you. With you.
Okay, fair enough. Why never vacate, bro? That's so weird.
To me, the best fight at 130 is Navarrete Valdez, bro. That's how I see it. Because like think about it. If you put Navarrete, Rakhimov, who wins? Navarrete. If you put Rakhimov, Valdez, who wins? Valdez.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if we apply that formula to all the guys, you're gonna come up with them 2 names, Navarrete, Valdez.
What about Foster versus Luis Garcia?
Let me put it to you this way. I like Oshaki. His boxing is good. What I see, Navarrete can get him. Why? You don't throw enough.
Yeah.
Don't throw enough.
I said Foster versus Hector Luis Garcia.
Luis ain't shit, bro. I don't want to offend nobody. Like, I'm Dominican. Like, I don't want to be that way. But, like, your shit is that you beat Colbert. But Colbert didn't beat nobody. And you fought Gutierrez. He didn't beat nobody. He was good, though. He was solid. He was a champion. But push come to shove. Does Hector beat Navarrete? No, he don't. Does Hector beat Valdez? No, he don't. Am I confident that Hector would beat Cordina? Nope. Maybe you could beat Rakhimov. Maybe. I don't even know. Maybe. You know what I mean? I feel Hector is the low-hanging fruit, especially now that you got knocked out. Well, fake knocked out or whatever that shit was.
Would anybody be excited for that unification fight? Like, I don't know if I'm just hating, but like
that fight would be a snooze fest, bro.
You're not hating, my guy. That's like you got some pussy that you really didn't want. So you have staff like, yeah, I'll fuck. Why not? Why not?
Condom sex, and then turkey bacon for breakfast.
That shit is some pussy you ain't.
Did we talk about Navarrete vacating his title already?
Nah, I knew that was coming because he gonna stay at 130, bro. Because they want that title to be on the line in the Valdez fight. He got the 130 belt. Remember that he BO champ at 130. So the 2-6 belt that's for Dogbe and Rotisserie Ramirez, and Rotisserie I think gonna win that.
He's gonna knock Dogbe out.
Yeah, Dogbe been getting some gifts, man. Like I think he fought who he fought. He fought Adam Lopez, was it? Yeah. And I ain't like how he looked in that fight, B. And I think he fought Pitufo Diaz, and I think it was like to say like, nah, B. This you supposed to beat the shit out of him because he just had a war with Navarrete. Like he supposed to be tenderized already, and you just not looking dominant. Let me read the super chat. De lo mío, que lo que just joined in. I'm always down for some Heyman slander, but can you shoot Laura Wood breakdown? Also mute Hyam. Nah, I fuck with Hyam.
Why are they doing that?
I'm gonna say that I believe that Lee Wood is gonna try to box. I believe that he's gonna try to fight a fundamental fight and work off counters. But I believe that when he feels the power, he's gonna shell up and he's gonna stop throwing, and that's where he's gonna get hurt. Or he gets sucked into a shootout, and that's where he's gonna get hurt. Any scenario I paint this fight, you are not strong enough to punch with this guy. You're not. You don't hit harder than these guys. And even if he box, what I see is, okay, let's say you try to jab and move. Not even that that's who you are, but let's just say you do that. Yo, I can see you getting hit on the arm and you going to shell up like, damn, this dude hit mad hard. Let me chill. And then you going to get out work because as soon as you give him an out to keep throwing punches, that's exactly what he going to do. I got Laura. And hey, if Wood wanna prove me wrong twice, do it. Because I didn't pick him to win the Conlon fight. I picked Conlon. I thought Conlon was going to win on points. Virtuoso says, true or false, super featherweight is a level playing field after Shakur left. Yes, because it was lopsided before that. Nobody down there was fucking with Shakur. Nobody. DHP says, big salute, my bro. Someone get a hold of Eddie Hearn and tell him to make Diego Pacheco. Or that'll be a good fight, but they in different places. Pacheco is still fighting in developmental fights, whereas oh wait, but he said Berlanga. I thought he said Benavidez. Oh yeah, I need that. Knock his ass out. I need that. But real shit, yo. It's 130. I like 130 because I feel like we gonna get that we want out of there. Like I do feel eventually we'll get Garcia versus Oshaki Foster. It's not gonna really be an appealing fight to look at. Not really. I don't think because of how they get down. But it is a unification match, right?
Yeah, but is that an exciting fight? Like, are you excited to watch that?
That fight is going to be an eyesore.
That fight.
Who survives that division? Who becomes king of that?
You know what
division?
that fight is? That's like if you pour ginger ale and then you leave it on the windowsill and then you come back for it and the shit is flat. It's like that. It's like warm ginger ale. Shit is
who actually conquers that division? Who walks away as king?
Valdez or
Cordina.
I think when push comes to shove, those are going to be the last two men standing.
Valdez and Cordina.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's what you said.
I think we know the BC and the BA are staying on that side.
Yeah, like that's that's a part of the reason that I'm not excited, Michael. And you said that before, that you don't get excited over PBC fights because you know it's not really going to leave the island.
Literally, yeah.
And that's where I'm at with it. That it's hard for me to get sights off this because I know y'all not probably even going to branch out. Probably not. So
I'd sooner see Oscar versus Cordina fight. I think Oscar would go to UK for that.
I think he would too. And
that's a big fight in the UK.
I told y'all that dude is mad little, but he got a deep ass voice.
Yo, he got a big ass head for his body. Yo.
He do got a big ass head, bro.
Yo, Jules, I gotta bother you. Sorry to bother you. Who's the last man standing or the last two men standing at the 135-pound division?
Oh, Nah,
That's crazy.
The last two men, I like that.
Yeah, last two men standing.
I'm gonna tell you what. You know who I think is gonna be? You gonna know one of them. I'm gonna say, but you're not gonna know the other one.
Shakur Stevenson.
One is Shakur, and one is William Zepeda.
Ooh,
bro. Raymond Murataya. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Don't nobody
jumping out the window. Put him on
my God, listen.
Watch.
Don't nobody.
Put him on suicide watch. He jumping out the window.
I'm gonna tell you why. Ain't nobody just gonna go in there with no guy like that that's gonna throw that many punches, bro. They not gonna choose that. That's a dude. You gotta force people to fight him. You have to. And Isaac gonna keep avoiding people. Devin gonna move up at some point, win or lose or whatever happened with Loma. He gonna move up. So it ain't gonna be about Shakur and Devin. And I think those gonna be the last two men standing. No. William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson.
Bro, Raymond Murataya. Y'all gotta watch him because I think he's gonna be in that mix as well.
We shall see.
Where is he, Julio?
He's on Top Rank. Really solid 130. He kind of reminds me of Marquez a little bit, the way he fights. But a really smart fighter.
I keep forgetting it, and then I keep being reminded about it.
More. I gotta check him out a little bit more.
Rider of the Storm says, have to talk about Tank in a wheelchair with a potential fake injury to get out of the Miz cover girl Garcia. This the shit. The reason I ain't spend no time on that is because Tank already responded to it. He posted a video of himself dancing on two legs. So it ain't nothing to say, like, he's not injured. And that's what he's saying, that he's not injured. So it ain't a lot to add to that.
Yeah. He's trying to get sympathy from the court.
So Tank is not one of the last men standing at 135.
Nah, I don't feel that way. Something stupid gonna happen to him, bro. Something stupid, just some dumb shit.
Yeah, he locked up for 5 years.
But you know what the other shit is? Look, I said it in the last live. They tried to get a plea deal, right? And the judge threw it out because it didn't come with no time. So that just don't sound good, bro. That's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to forecast it. I'm just saying that shit don't sound good.
Wasn't the court date yesterday?
Nah, it's Friday.
Yeah. Nah, but that was me. I went to my speeding ticket thing with crutches on, bro. You feel me?
I got a speeding ticket too. That shit's a bitch.
For real, like I feel like just some stupid shit is going to happen because it's just a lot of stupid shit around him. Like,
you feel like Tank is going to get eliminated out of the contest, and then it's not going to be no Ryan. The next thing is going to be 140.
Bro,
who we feeling at 140? Who we feeling at 140?
I think
who's going to survive at 140?
I think it's hard at 140 because two of the belts is at PBC, and it's like we know that them guys is not going to be in a mix of nothing. You know, like they not going to be in a mix of nothing. So it's, to me, the best 140 pounder, even though it's not going to sound right, is Regis Prograis.
Yeah, but isn't he at Pro Bellum?
He's not going to fight Regis though.
Yeah, but somebody
isn't the biggest the top dog at 140 at a promotional company that nobody can contact.
I mean,
also the only money fight at 140 is still Ryan Garcia.
True, but he's not gonna fight shit though.
Devin Haney moving up. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like you know what might happen. You look, Jesus and Christ. I'm gonna give it to Chaim on this because he been on the Josh Taylor attack, and I'm gonna say this, that there's a chance that I'm not picking him yet because I want to think about it. But one scenario that is real is that, like, yo, what if Lopez beat Taylor? And then it's Haney Lopez for the BO.
Ooh,
you see what I mean? That
Haney Lopez for the BO.
That's kind of there. That's still a money fight, bro. Haney Lopez. That's a money fight.
That's
bro.
a big fight.
That is a big
I'll
fight.
pay pay-per-view for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, so, and it's just hard to look at Taylor and be confident right now. Like, bro, like, you better knock out Teofimo. You better. Because he ain't shit.
He's a lot bigger than Teofimo Lopez. This is what I was talking about before on a few lives back when I was talking about the 10th graders and the 8th graders. Remember? I mean, come on. This fight is a perfect example of 10th graders and 8th graders. I mean, come on.
But not even the size. Like, Josh is a way better boxer than...
Yeah, when he on his shit, but is he on his shit?
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know that because Jack Catterall made Josh look like a fool.
That was one fight. Why is everybody so?
I know,
That's what I'm saying, bro.
That was
my.
Are we just gonna ignore the years of like great work?
No,
that Josh
my
even at 50%, bro. Even at 50%, he's a tough fight for anybody.
Yes, of course he is.
I gotta read the room there. On a scale of 1 to 100%, Julio, how confident are you that Josh gonna win that fight?
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, you said?
1 to 10. Let's make it easier.
Yeah, okay. 7.
7. All right, let me go to Michael. Michael, how confident are you?
I'm a solid 7.5. I think Teofimo is literally a tune-up fight. It's a solid tune-up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Josh, what happened was that like Jack Catterall wanted activity. He didn't want to wait for Josh to heal up, and then Josh said, "Okay, Top Rank, give me the easiest fight you can make fastest." Which is Teofimo Lopez, the biggest name you got that you can make really quickly, and that's Teofimo.
That's an easy fight for him.
How you feel about that? How you think it go? Because you wasn't here for that conversation.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that, but I'm gonna chime in real quick. If Jack Catterall could land with the regularity that he was landing on Josh Taylor is not the guy that y'all think he is. Not
but
anymore.
It's not about that no more.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you my point. He's not the guy that you think he is. So now, if Teofimo lands one of those Comey right hands on Josh Taylor, I think 3 of them send him away.
No,
I don't think Josh Taylor is as good as y'all think he is, yo. I think he's shaky. Dog.
Okay, and are we? I
think Ramirez was shaky. I think Ramirez was shaky. I think the only person that he fought that he actually earned the belt from was Prograis. Everybody else,
Baranchik was I. Baranchik was I.
Yeah, Baranchik was I will give you that. Baranchik wasn't as intricate of a fighter as Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor
at the time he was the guy though.
The only guys that had any subtleties and nuance, if we're gonna be honest,
that's Prograis.
It's Prograis and Taylor. Ramirez was always a cut below.
Yeah,
Baranchik was always a cut below. Kirill Rillick was always a cut below. You know what I mean?
But we talking about who Taylor fought, right? That's what we talking about, right?
Yeah, and I'm just saying that
I said Ramirez and his best fight
was good, but he didn't look good before though.
But his really best fights is, as far as real opposition, is Ramirez and Prograis. And Prograis, yes, he beat Prograis, but that was questionable. I had Prograis winning that fight, to be honest with you. So now it was close. It was razor sharp. So I'm not going against anybody that said it the other way. But other than that, the Ramirez fight, that was clear. But Ramirez wasn't as skilled.
But let's say this too. This is the thing about the Ramirez fight, and I'm with you. I don't think that Ramirez is up there with Prograis and him.
Yeah.
But what you got to give him credit for is it was on the road, and he made it decisive enough that they couldn't rob him, and they tried. Go look at them scorecards. They tried, and he made it. And he made it like, nah, y'all not going to do me like that.
Yeah, he did. He did make it definitive, but still look at the quality of opposition. The quality of opposition. Ramirez, I always said to you, I called him to the show.
Better than that at 140.
No, it couldn't have got better than that at that time. But Ramirez is still a brawler. He's not a technical boxer. He's not a razor sharp motherfucker. He's not doing pull counters. He's not doing none of these things. And that's how Josh Taylor just destroyed him. We saw it. We watched it live. I watched it live. I paid the pay-per-view and everything.
I just think that, look, he had a real, you know what this shit is? It felt cheap to attack him because he had a good run at 140. Like, that's a solid run that he had, bro.
He did. I don't want to.
Postal, Baranchik.
You feel me? I don't like that.
Yeah, like look, he fought a dude that was on pads.
Prograis.
He fought Ryan Martin, who was on pads, and you never would have known it how easy he was whooping his ass.
I gotta agree with you and give you your respect on that.
Like his run was crazy.
Yeah, his run was good. His run was better than Devin Haney's, right? So we gotta give him his respect. But after you look at it all, when you step back and look at everything, you gotta admit there's something missing there. And then the Jack Catterall shit,
I'll tell you what,
shit was terrible, dog.
I agree with you on this.
Let me just say this, Jules. Let me just say this. I'm not like the rest of the panel. I scored the Jack Catterall fight 8-4, plus he dropped him. That's how I scored the Jack Catterall fight.
This is what's missing. By all rights, Josh Taylor should be at welterweight right now.
Yes, 100%. He's a weight bully. He's a 10th grader. He's a 10th grader fighting 8th graders.
If it's something there that I see that I don't see, is you were supposed to start your campaign already as a welterweight, because you didn't do it.
You ain't do what Terrence Crawford did. You ain't do what Terrence Crawford did.
There it is. That after Terrence became undisputed, he ain't stick around to fight the Catteralls of the world.
He moved up. His very next fight was against the champion.
Yeah, but that's also why I don't attack Josh. What the fuck can he do if all them belts is at PBC? What can he do? What's his option?
No, he could have invoked the WBO mandatory shit, just like
you don't want
Terrence Crawford did. But yeah, but you moving up against a monster. But you can't do what Terrence Crawford could do.
True, though. It is true.
That's the truth.
That's what's missing. That is what's missing. That look, I do rate Josh, at least for now, but he's about to fall off the list. I do rate him, but it is true. No, he is. He's number 10. He's about to fall off. There's a big old fight. I just did a video about it. I'm not going to say nothing here because I'm going to upload it after I do this video, after I finish this live. But it is true that to some degree, we are acknowledging that you're not in that Crawford place, because we don't think of you versus Crawford as being competitive. It's not, bro. He gonna knock you out.
And I gotta be honest with you, Jules. I've been saying this. I say it in the dark. Nobody want to hear it because everybody get upset with me if I even say it out loud. But Usyk didn't do it either. Usyk did not take his first fight. His first fight at heavyweight against the champion the way Crawford did. No, he did not.
No, wait a minute.
But he couldn't though.
No, wait a minute. It's not even that. It's not even that he already had the Joshua fight and he schooled him. So even if his first fight wasn't,
no, I'm talking about the first fights at heavyweight.
No, and what I'm saying is I forgive, because I didn't think he looked good with Chaz Witherspoon. I didn't. I said that mad times, like, I don't like how he looked.
Yeah, he got time to acclimate. I said the same thing. I said the same thing in the Chisora fight. I'm like, man, And the Joshua fight is what changed my mind. They're like, okay, you redeemed yourself because you went in there with one of the guys. The Andre Ward fight, but that's the Andre Ward Sergey Kovalev fight. This is what I'm saying. You got to measure everybody on the same playing field. Andre Ward was afforded 2 or 3 fights before he fought Paul Smith. He fought somebody else before he got to Sergey Kovalev. Now, Usyk was afforded 2 fights before he got to Joshua. But wait a minute. Terrence Crawford wasn't afforded no fight. Wait. No, wait a minute. This is the difference. You got to add the context to that. At that time, at that time that he moved up and became WBO mandatory or whatever, while he's having them 2 fights, Joshua's name was attached to other shit anyway, bro. It was. No, I'm not saying it wasn't. What I'm saying is, no. In other words, what I'm saying is, were you saying that? Oh well, he didn't fight Joshua straight away. Joshua was busy with other shit, so it wasn't going to go down like that. I agree with you, fam. I'm not arguing with that point. All I'm saying is that when we look back at the records, you got to respect the fact that Terrence Crawford went up in his very next fight. After he dropped in down go with a body shot, his very next fight was Jeff Horn. No, and listen, come on, give it. I'm probably one of the only people you going to talk to that give him absolute props for. Listen. It went from Jeff Horn made Manny look old to Jeff Horn just ain't shit. No, Crawford. Yeah, exactly. Crawford made him not look like next to Crawford. He could do anything. Like it was a point in the fight. Crawford, I think he hit him with a shot and lifted him off his feet with a shot. I get it, but you also have to acknowledge that the lay of the land was not the same when Usyk got the heavyweight. Joshua I do acknowledge was attached to other shit that it wasn't going to be. But he got 2 fights. He had a whole year. He had a whole year to acclimate. You got to go back to Andre Ward. He had a. Remember he got an injury though? Remember he got an injury, like an arm injury or some bullshit after the fight? I remember. I'm not taking nothing away. I don't hold that against him. I'm not holding that against him. All I'm saying is Andre Ward, He needed time to acclimate. But what people don't acknowledge is that the difference between the first fight and the second fight with Kovalev was that Andre Ward actually acclimated to the weight at 175. He actually had time to actually acclimate to the weight.
Let me check this shit. CCU, that's revisionist version of history. Why?
No, it's not.
No, it is. Jeff Horn, you saying that he not what you saying. You saying that Jeff sucked. All I know is Manny looked old with Jeff. He didn't look old with Broner. He didn't look old with Keith Thurman, but he looked old with Jeff. That's facts. Manny looked like an old man that's ready to retire with Jeff. So maybe Jeff wasn't that bad because at least he made him look old. He did make him look old, complaining to the ref. He got a cut on his head. He looked old in that fight. He did.
And Terrence Crawford beat the shit out of him.
So I just don't like how everybody play with the shit. Like, fam, he made Manny look old, B. Everybody was saying after that fight, robbery or no robbery, Manny looked old. Keith Thurman didn't make Manny look old.
And everybody wanted to fight Jeff Horn right after that fight. But then as soon as Terrence Crawford got the belt, everybody didn't want to know. Everybody was scared.
Yeah, like it's just so much sucker shit. Crawford never gonna get his props, and I see that. That's just gonna be the way it is. Like he never gonna get his props for nothing that he did because people want to keep playing with shit. Like the dude. I'm not saying Horn was great. I'm just saying why was it when Horn won the belt, Errol wanted to fight Horn, but when Bud won the belt, oh no, it's the sides of the street, and I gotta clean the gutters and change the car battery, and I gotta call my chiropractor.
All I'm saying about Terrence Crawford is there's nobody in boxing history that went from a lower weight to a higher weight and knocked out everybody that they fought at the higher weight. There's not one person you can name. You really go into the crates and look. There's not one person you can name.
It's Bud never gonna get his due though. That's just the reality that people have to accept. I accept it that they're always, whenever his name is brought up, it's become a polarizing subject. It shouldn't be, but it's gonna be a polarizing subject because it's just a lot of people willing to die on the hill for little old Errol and his areolas. It can't nothing be done about it. You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
Especially Chris Naps.
Nothing, ain't nothing we could do about it. And it's a tired conversation too. That's the other shit that I'm sick of having it, bro. Sick of having it. Like,
yo, we got Stanionis Ortiz, man. That's a good fucking fight.
That's I talked about that shit at the top of the show when I said all these people that's complaining about the zone. You telling me you don't like that fight? Stanionis Ortiz. That's not a good fight.
That's a good fucking fight.
That's a great fight, man.
Bro. Like,
I want to see that.
I'm excited for that one the most, I think, right now.
I'm like, all these guys that's acting like, nah, it don't be no good. All right, then, bro. Then you know what?
I just had a conversation with somebody on Facebook over this shit. Like, okay, they reneged on their decision to like produce pay-per-view shows, but like, are they hitting their customers over the head with these pay-per-view shows? No, they're not.
No. I mean,
it's only Canelo, who's like only the guy that's only worth the kind of money.
Canelo shit ain't even going to be a pay-per-view. That's the other
exactly.
shit.
The only pay-per-view the zone has right now is Tommy Fury and Jake Paul.
So what is all this fake concern over fucking people's money and shit?
That shit is not real, bro. That shit is not real because the dudes that's complaining about quote-unquote pay-per-views on the zone, you paying more than that, supposedly, for PBC shows because they do more pay-per-views than anybody.
Yo, is Zhang versus Joyce a pay-per-view?
Who?
Is Zhang versus Joyce?
Nah, that's not a pay-per-view. That's not a pay-per-view.
That's my favorite fight right now. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Nah, that's all right, bro. I feel like Joe gonna get him, bro. I feel like
Zhang gonna get him.
Nah, I think he gonna get him. Maybe Zhang do some surprising little shit. But like I said, your shit is that you beat Hrgovic. And then when I asked, okay, who did Hrgovic beat? Nobody. It's like, yo, like, motherfuckers are just surprised. They're like, damn, you was fucking him up. But it's only because they didn't think you was going to do that. They thought you was going to get run over. So when you don't get run over, it's like, oh, atta boy. That's what it's an
But
attaboy.
you know his left
What
hand
I'm
is quick
interested in
though.
is what is Zhang gonna do if Joyce starts eating his punches and it doesn't have the effect on him? You know.
I think that's hard to see with the power behind Zhang. I mean, his left hand is strong, man.
It is though. It is.
It is. I don't think you're gonna eat too many of those.
I don't think, but I don't really think. See, the thing is that we looking at it like he just gonna keep landing that, and I don't see it that way. I think Joe gonna make it past that, and he gonna crowd the pocket. He gonna be with him in the pocket mid range. Zhang need room to get that out and put something on that.
Because you've seen all of Joe's boxing expertise, right?
It's not. It's that he messy in a good way. He messy in a good way. That he ain't no finesse guy, but he's messy in a good way. That once he there in that mid range, he good right there. And I don't think Zhang could deal with him right there.
You think he good right there?
Joyce and Zhang is going to be a great fight that we're going to.
I think that's the fight of the year right there.
Nah, I don't think. I think the fight of the year is Valdez.
I'm not saying fight of the year, but I think it's a fight we'll enjoy.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Just gonna eat that compound right hand, man. With the push
I don't know. I think we'll enjoy Stanionis Ortiz. Stanionis Ortiz?
And a little sweet and sour.
Bro, nobody got an answer to the question. What the fuck is Andy Ruiz gonna do? Nobody answers the question.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. It can't be like that. Like he in that Division 2, bro.
He's gonna fight Ali Demirezin on pay-per-view. I told y'all this. Ruiz versus Demirezin, $80 pay-per-view.
That shit was unanimous. Everybody said, "Who cares?"
Who was it that just beat Kawanaki like a couple months ago?
Bro, Ali Demirezin.
Bro.
Yeah,
no, Demirezin. Ali Demirezin.
Yeah, I'm telling
Don't
you,
do that.
he's gonna hop in with Demirezin, and it's gonna be on pay-per-view.
Hey, leave son of Captain Kupchak alone, man.
So where Wilder gonna go?
The shit is
Didn't the IBF order the Hergovich for the interim belt though?
They did, and can I say this? If he's smart, go fight Hergovic, bro. You got to get off the island. Ain't no money over there, bro. There's no money over there.
Wait, what fight?
The IBF ordered the purse bid. They ordered the purse bid because a lot of people didn't pay attention to this shit a couple of weeks ago. The IBF ordered a fight between Hergovic and Andy Ruiz. They ordered a fight between them, and everybody felt
I didn't even know
Ruiz.
that.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody thought, well, Ruiz is going to fight Wilder. He ain't going to fight Hergovic. He ain't going to fight that dude. But now that we see Wilder doing some other shit, yo, you might as well go fight Hergovic, bro.
Yeah, you ain't got nothing else going on.
He got shit else to
beat
do.
Hergovic. He could possibly
Fighting
beat
hunger
Hergovic.
pains.
Also, that you see my point. That like, yo, that was a good time to get him, man. He just looked like shit with this dude. Go get him.
Maybe,
Fighting cravings.
Yeah, but
What do you think he's fighting?
Bro,
Fighting fucking diabetes.
The other shit about that shit is look. Eddie's still trying to do shows in America, right? So build a show around that fight. Ruiz versus Hergovic on the West Coast. You get a couple of Chicano fighters.
Throw Bam on there.
Bam on there. Pacheco on there.
Yeah.
The works, B. And you can sell that.
Ammo Williams.
Ammo be on there, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Felix Cash ducked the shit out of Ammo.
He ducked him.
Yo, that shit is so crazy. Ain't nobody talking about that.
What happened to that fight? That fight was supposed to be the next fight.
That was, he ducked him for the EBU, yo.
What?
But it's not that bad though.
He really
It's not
ducked
that
him?
bad.
No, that's not cap. He got another
He
fight.
said he wanted to fight for the European before going in to
That's not
world
that
level
bad,
against
though.
him.
Who cares about the European shit, man?
I think
he talked wild shit. Yo, he talked wild shit after the fight. What are you talking to me? Hold on, Gypsy, can I fuck you? Like, yo, I didn't understand shit he said. I thought, nah, they gonna fight. That's gonna be a good fight. Just for him, yo, B.
I didn't know he ducked him.
Got pissed on one none.
Yo, yeah, he that was 2 weeks ago they announced that fight, man. He not fighting Ammo much, bro. That's crazy, yo. 'Cause I really thought, yo, he been looking like shit, bro. He has. Cash it. He don't look like
mad shit though. It was like I thought that shit was like really already signed.
I think he wants like one more fight before Ammo, which wouldn't be that bad.
It ain't gonna help. Ammo's still gonna fuck him up.
Hey man, Andy Ruiz's next fight is gonna be against a machaca burrito, man.
Listen, man.
Fighting his desire.
I'm trying to tell you, he's fighting hunger pangs.
Yes.
Listen, if you Andy, it's like I don't understand why guys is not thinking like, yo, listen, Andy, go to Eddie, right? Tell Eddie, give me Dillian White, yo. You can knock him out. Give me Dillian White. At the O2, I'll do it for 3 mil. You know what I mean? I'll do it for 3 mil, 2.5, 3 mil. Work with me. Go in there, knock him out, and just be over there, bro. Because they need guys. And the weird shit about this is just the act of him going over there like that new shit like that, it'll breathe life. Because right now, he's in a void, bro. Like, ain't nobody over there that we want to see you fight except Wilder. That's the only fight that they could make. Other than that, what you gonna do? You gonna fight Frankie Sanchez?
Well, here's the
problem.
Here's the problem with that. Will old Uncle Al let him?
Bro, I mean, Fulton going to Japan.
But
maybe because of all the money problems, Al's grip is starting to loosen with.
Yeah, that's what my theory is. Like their leverage is drying up because like they don't got the money to like keep them guys over there.
Look, he just beat Ortiz. He just beat Ortiz, right? And there's nothing semblant of a fight date for Wilder. Or we hearing just all this other shit. Ngannou to fight deal. He got a secret opponent they looking at. We not hearing Ruiz. We not hearing that. So like, yo, like, go to Eddie, bro.
They don't believe that fight makes money.
It doesn't.
I think if you beat someone like a Philip Hergovich,
Grim Reaper said brilliant offer to fight Andy already, but didn't want it.
Yeah, that's true, but that was in 2020. He offered him $4 million for that fight. I don't know if he did it again recently, but I know in 2020 he did offer him $4 million for that fight. But I'm just saying that, like, yo, dog, you don't have nothing going on. There's nobody over there. What you gonna do?
I mean, I say the same thing about fucking Pitbull, bro. Like, Tank don't want to fight him again. So it's like, why not go to the zone and fight Camarón?
Because he got Sean Gibbons.
That's the problem. Sean Gibbons is the fucking problem. That knucklehead's still around in boxing.
I think the Joshua trilogy is there as well.
Oh, they just ordered a purse bid for Andy and Hergovich.
Yeah, because they didn't reach a deal by the deadline. They ordered the fight weeks ago, but nobody cared because they thought Andy gonna go fight Wilder. Okay. So nobody gave a fuck about that shit. And now it's like, yo, dog, like, you might as well go fight her
off into the woods.
How much you want to bet he gonna pull out?
Bro. To do what though?
To do what?
Adam Kalinacki.
Exactly. That's what they're gonna do.
only Jarrell Miller can save us. Like, I don't know why I look at Jarrell Miller with a ray of hope. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm just like, yo, this dude.
What about Johnny Rice, man?
That should have said
Johnny Rice.
Nah, son. Like, I really think like
over there.
It's Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's the only.
I see Darrell Miller, Anthony Darrell Miller, as a potential dark horse, yo.
Hey, Jarrell Miller could come out to like the original Hulk Hogan theme, Real American and shit.
I'm Real American. I remember them days.
Jarrell Miller is the only hope for American boxing. Right now, he's the only one that's going to bring attention. He might not take it over.
Wasn't Andy supposed to stay busy fighting Mexico and Triller? Is it Tyron's
I mean, it's only a matter of time before Anderson makes his big
Canelo undercard, bro. Cut the crap. Andy Muiz. Put him on the Canelo undercard. Viva Mexico.
Jared Anderson don't have enough criminal cases.
Bro, you gotta get Eddie on here. We gotta match.
It's not even that. It's that Jared. It's still too early for Jared. I give Jared another 2 years, maybe 3 before splash. You know, he has like.
Yeah, but he don't have enough criminal cases. He's actually doing right and minding his business and taking care of his family.
And that's what he's
not
doing.
Going to work in America.
I'm gonna say Anthony Darrell Miller could have certain fights. Like, I think he could beat Dubois. That's just me. Yeah. I think he could beat Dubois. Yes, Julio.
Wait a minute.
Julio.
I want him to drop some weight, but yeah.
You know, the
I want him to drop some weight.
Nah, but that could be like his rehabilitation tour. He like starts taking these fights nobody wants and wins them.
It's people he can beat, bro.
Is Sarah Finance managing Jarrell Miller?
Not no more. Not no more.
Frank Warren not gonna do business with him.
What happened there?
Frank is shameless. He'll work with him.
Frank was gonna put him on a show a couple of months ago. I shit you not. That's why that's in my head. That Frank was going to use him a couple of months ago.
Bro, look at
They
these
didn't go with
Queensberry
him.
cards. They put anybody on them. So don't
put
tell me you can't
anybody
put
in
Jarrell
there,
Miller
bro.
on there, bro.
Jarrell
If you
Miller
in
be
there
upset.
putting Dubois with Lorena, come on now, you'll make any fight, bro.
The sad thing about Miller is I feel like before he got popped both times, I feel like he was one of the few heavyweights who actually wanted all the smoke. Why else would you fight?
Oh, he has a fun style.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
fuck the PED shit. Put him on TV.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
He's better than Hrgovic as far as fucking sales. He's better than
He
Hrgovic.
can even knock out, Alan Bobic as a bonus and shit.
He's better than Michael Hunter as far as sales.
I mean, like that's some other shit that I think they're like, yo, look, Sky really signed that man. I know they let him go, but they really signed that man. So and he has the personality of a bus seat. Like, ain't nothing going on. So for that, yo, you might as well sign Jarrell Miller, bro. Yeah. At least he'll talk some shit. He got an unbeaten record. He ain't been beat yet.
All he's talking about is cheeseburgers.
For real. For real. Yo, but you can't tell. See, this is the thing. We playing games. If a motherfucker told you, for example, I'm going to go to Hyam, top rank announces, Jared Anderson versus Big Baby Miller. You not watching that?
I'm watching that. I'm paying for that.
The battle of the big babies.
Julio.
100% I'm watching.
If they told you, Joe Joyce, Jarrell Miller, you not watching that?
Of course I'm watching it.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, like it or not, if you put his name on some other shit, yo, people gonna watch that shit. Like, for real though, they are.
Bro, him and Andy for the new super heavyweight belt.
Him and Andy Ruiz is a huge fight.
That's super heavyweight?
That's a huge fight. At the Barclays? At the Barclays?
Jarrell Miller versus Andy Ruiz hot dog eating contest. Put that on paper.
Yo, is that fight in Texas?
Which one?
Jarrell Miller, Andy Ruiz. Is that fight in Texas?
Yo, I think you could do that like on the West Coast, not because Andy is a Cali Mexican, am I right?
Dude, you had it right the first time. Put him on the Canelo Ryder undercard. And
that's what I'm like. Yo, that would be perfect, bro.
Where's that fight?
That's in Mexico.
Oh. No,
yes,
bro. It's not. No.
I'm telling you, you know that he was
because the currency, that's the problem with Mexican fights. You can't put them on.
If Canelo
that's the problem with the money. You know what I mean?
Well, he said he's going to take all their money.
Wait a minute.
No,
Liam says, according to Hearn, cash versus ammo is still contracted. It is, but it ain't next. That's what I know. Cash has an opponent. Frank, no, that's the other thing. Liam said Frank hid Zolani Tete's test. He would work with Miller. There you go. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Like,
I mean, didn't the B sample came out positive?
Yeah.
What?
So now it's up to the BBOC to keep that same energy.
Hey,
and you see that they not right. You see that they not. They not.
I got a question. How about instead of Andy versus, Zhang versus Joe Joyce, how about Zhang versus Andy?
Andy Ruiz?
Yeah.
I mean, Zhang, look, bro, Zhang probably going to get the shit beat out of him real soon, bro. Like, he got enough problems with Joe Joyce.
I think he beats Joe.
I don't know about that shit.
What about Joyce?
Who? Andy? You said Andy beats Joe?
No, he's
Yeah, I really think y'all taking that Hrgovic fight and y'all running with that shit. And
what he say? He said Andy.
He said he think Zhang gonna beat Joe.
Yep. Oh, I think Zhang gonna beat Joe too.
Y'all crazy.
I got Zhang.
Yeah,
stylistically, it's
not
a bad pick. But I don't know if Zhang has the hardware.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight.
Like style-wise, that motherfucker is old.
My God, to the whole menu, bro.
Was knocking Hrgovic all
they
around
not the same, bro. You telling me you look at
he was knocking Hrgovic all around the face, and Hrgovic moves faster than Joe Joyce does.
Nah,
fuck out of here.
Listen. Talk that shit because that fight is not far away, neither.
I know it's April 15th. We're gonna bet on it. I'm gonna lose my money. I'm gonna go and put it in the super chat.
Let me tell you one thing. He ain't moving Joe around like he did Hrgovic. I'll tell you that.
No, yes, he is. Hrgovic and Joe was about the same size, dog.
And they're about the same age.
Hrgovic is more mobile.
Yeah, what the fuck you talking about?
Hrgovic moves better than Joe. Like, The only thing I think stylistically, I think that Zhang has the right style and he's a southpaw. But the only thing is, I don't know if he has the hardware. Like, I don't know if he has the power.
God, look, listen. Let me remind y'all that both Zhang and Hergovic, they have not fought the people that Joe fought. And I'm not trying to say this and that. I'm just saying he fought Stavern, he fought Jennings, he fought Takam, he fought Dubois, he fought Parker, bro. He stopped them all.
I seen him get hurt by Stavern. I seen him get hurt by Stavern. And I seen him get hurt by Jennings.
You dreaming high?
No. Go back and watch the fight, fam.
Nah, he did get hurt by Jennings.
He got hurt by Stavern.
Not hurt, but rattled. Not hurt, but rattled. He did get rattled.
Yeah, go back and watch the fight, fam. I'm not bugging.
And do you think his defense is going to be that good against Zhang, who likes to throw for his age?
No, I'm gonna say that y'all see what y'all see. I know what y'all see. Y'all see that Zhang got a little bit of speed, a little bit of burst, a little bit of power, and y'all think the whole fight gonna be like that. You gonna do that shit probably like 2-3 times in the beginning before your old ass get tired. Because you are gonna
take an aspirin.
I see a southpaw with a good left, Jules. I see a southpaw with a good left.
He got a good left, but that don't look, he probably gonna land it. He might even score a knockdown. I'm just telling y'all, I don't think he win that fight. And this is all based off of one fucking fight with Felipe Hergovic. Because if you erase that fight, what's the fight before that? The Jerry Forrest fight? That guy beats Joe Joyce.
You keep bringing that up, but that's not.
I have to bring that up.
I have to bring that up.
And who knocked him out? Who knocked him out?
Who who did knock out Jerry Forrest? Jared Anderson.
See, I think Jared could beat Joe.
You think Jared could beat Joe Joyce?
Yeah, a couple fights from now.
Jared Anderson? I think he'll beat him right now.
All right. Look, I'll say a couple of fights from now. I agree with that.
Beat him right now.
I just want these kids to thrown to the wolves. I just want these kids to get thrown to the wolves is what I see.
That's old school, though.
The only thing with Jared is he pulls his head back a lot, man.
Yeah, he
people think Joe Joyce is untouchable. He's not, yo.
I don't think he's
a regular heavyweight. He gonna get hurt. He's never fought a puncher.
Bro, like the way he's like the stock market. Like I think he's gonna crash.
Yeah, he's never fought a puncher in his entire career. Everybody's giving him all these props like he's some top guy, 5 times density bone. All that bullshit.
Nah, but like all right. So just give me Bang. With the exception of Zhang, who he about to fight. Who you think beat him?
Beat him? Nobody. I don't think nobody beat him. I think people touched him. I don't think nobody beat him. I'm just saying that when I look at Joe, I don't see a guy like, for example, I think Joe is better than Makhmudov. Makhmudov only got the 1-2 and that's it. He don't got no hooks, no uppercut. He just got 1-2 and that's it. What does Joyce wear?
Because it's 3 big little head guys. It's 3 big little head guys, right? One is Makhmudov. He's limited. The other one is Hergovic. Bro, come on now. Joe better.
Hergovic is way more. He's way more.
He moved more. But I don't like off of that. Nah, you're not better than Joe.
He does have better punch variation than
Jalalov. He got the power to unibrow, man.
Jalalov is nice, but I want to see him with a Takam already or somebody. Like I feel personally, it's time for you to fight.
If those 3 fought each other, who wins?
Jalalov.
If those 3,
or at least I would bet on Jalalov, even though I would be taking it on.
He trains in Brooklyn, right?
Okay, so Jalalov,
yeah,
does he beat Zhilei Zhang?
Yes, I would pick him to beat Zhang confidently.
He's like a better version of Zhang.
Okay.
Bigger and better version of him.
I like how you pronounce Zhang because you sound like you from China when you say it.
No problem. It does Joe Joyce beat Jalalov?
No.
Jalalov beats him.
Yes.
Comprehensive?
I think so. In fact, I think it's going to sound crazy. I think Jalalov could stop him.
You think Jalalov could stop Joe Joyce?
Mm-hmm. I seen him get through. I seen a fight he had. He got through with a real short hook. He stopped the guy. He's not an eye-catching guy, but he does a lot of things well. And he's built well. He's not gangly. He's athletic.
I wanted to hear your perspective. I'm not challenging.
He's like an upgraded version of Tyson Fury. Like he's the same size as him, but I think he has more he's more fluid, he's more coordinated, and he has knockout power.
Was his drawback is that you from Uzbekistan? That's his drawback. If you was like from Puerto Rico, then you would have wild fans. If you was from Mexico, you would have wild fans. If you was from like fucking Florida, all right, you would have mad fans. But you from Uzbekistan, bro. It's not a lot of Uzbeks.
What I saw from Jalov was a very well coordinated heavyweight.
And he's a southpaw, bro.
He's a
like
big fucker too.
He reminds me of a lot. He's like he has a little bit like Klitschko. He reminds me of Usyk. He reminds me of AJ.
He looked like a retarded Klitschko without a haircut. Like
it's like they tried to clone Klitschko and they fucked up.
Yeah, like he a fucked up looking Klitschko.
I wouldn't want to face that guy in an alley. I'll tell you that, man. You get jacked up.
Big fucking guy, bro. Like.
He was the triplet. He was the triplet. His parents had to drop him off at the church.
That dude is like 6'7", 6'8", bro. That dude is massive,
he's
bro.
Huge. He's huge.
Motherfucking Calderon says they should put Andy on. Yeah, that's the same thing I said, bro. Same thing I said. They should protect Joyce like they did Wilder.
No.
Please don't. Shit.
Well, Frank Warren, bro, he has to protect his investments.
We've had enough of that.
Wilder's a joke.
You got to fight now.
No, but isn't it weird that Frank is treating Joe like the redheaded stepchild? Because it's like he mentioned Daniel super duper uber soft, super uber, and Joe, man, you got to fight Takam, and you got to fight Jennings, and you got to fight Burns.
I think he believes in that's like Virgil Ortiz and Jaime Munguia. I didn't understand how y'all come under the same umbrella,
bro. They believe in one guy more
completely differently.
Frank,
like,
Frank believes that Joe could win a belt before Daniel. That's why.
Yo, Virgil Ortiz is getting matched hard. They try to sign him in a fight against David Avenetian.
Look at who he fucking fighting, bro. Look at the fucking.
Yo, he fighting everybody for real, but Jaime Munguia over there bathing in the sun.
For real, while Ryan is painting his nails. Ryan over there painting his nails and playing with his pussy.
Yeah.
And
I was just
Jaime over there eating bean burritos and shit. Virgil got it rough.
Virgil's fighting Dr. Evil.
I always said there's something wrong with Jaime Munguia. We don't know what it is, but there's something wrong with Jaime Munguia.
He probably got
the only real one of that promotion, bro.
He probably got the clap.
I don't know what it is, but they treat him like he's the fucking boss's daughter.
Yeah, well protected. That's right.
Yeah, well protected, yo. Very well protected.
No, but it's not wrong, bro. Like they won't let him do shit. They won't let him do nothing. Nothing. Like and Virgil out here fighting fucking dragons and shit. It's like, bro, like can y'all get
what the fuck? I always wondered what was that. What is it that we're not seeing? I always wondered that. Like,
I honestly think
he have a drug problem.
Munguia has an STD. That's why
we got Munguia playing Kirby, but we got fucking Virgil playing Dark Souls.
For real,
I always wondered that. What's going on there? I really did think about that. What's going on there? Like,
it's not because if you think about how they match all these guys, yo, Virgil. And I'm not complaining because I love it. Like he's in fights that I want to see, so I love it. But it's like, yo, there is a disparity in the difficulty level and the consistency of the difficulty.
Yeah.
Like, shit, bro. Y'all picking motherfuckers like the crowd to fight, man.
Munguia is an anomaly, especially like considering the modern crop of Mexican fighters like Virgil, Zepeda, Bam. These guys are really like fighting people. Munguia is like he's like the Irish guy in the Italian mob. Like he's like
what he is?
He's out of place.
Munguia is like Neo. Munguia is like Neo, but without the kung fu skills. That's what he's like. It's like you the one, but not really.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know why they treat him like that. Like why they like push him to the side like that. He don't never get no real fights. He fighting Gabe Rosado. Okay,
exactly.
Get it. You know. But you're not fighting the real ones. You're not fighting Berlanga. That fight should have been signed and sealed 2 months ago.
Listen, go ahead,
I honestly think that it's who wants it more because even though we can all say that Hyman has gifts, like Ortiz is the only one I've seen who actually wants to get all the hard fights. Like, yeah, he is blood's mandatory, but the fact that he's fighting Stanionis, that's got to say something. Number one.
You know what? Yeah. He's also fought better opposition than the other prospects. And he's already been tested and came back from adversity in one of his fights, too. So my hat's off to Ortiz, man. That dude's badass.
Yeah.
For me, the problem that we'll get is asking who will have a better resume at the end of their career, Amir Khan or Ryan Garcia? I'm gonna say Amir Khan.
Amir Khan.
Bro, Khan at 140 was fighting people, bro.
He was fighting.
Yeah.
He was fighting people.
He fought Paulie. He fought fucking Maidana. He fought everybody.
Man, Glassbro wasn't afraid to fight even with that chin of his, man. He still fought.
Yeah. You got to give Khan credit that he did fight people.
How many people would move up to fight Canelo fucking Alvarez with the chin?
Well, I don't count that because of the bread. So I'm not like I ain't dumb out here. Like
no, but that's still hard though. That still shows hard.
It do. But it was
and the look of regret on Canelo's face when he really blasted him and knocked him out too.
Yeah,
bro. He fought Terrence when Danny Garcia was the one avoiding him.
That's true.
Come on.
Willingly got nothing out of it other than a payday and ask for it, but he still took the fight.
Khan deserves.
Do you know what the problem with
Khan deserves
and Virgil Ortiz is?
What's the problem?
I think the problem is Canelo, because when Canelo was on the open up, like 15 years ago, when he just became pro, it was just Canelo. It was another Mexican reference to go for.
Marquez.
No, I mean active, because Oscar de la Hoya wasn't in the play, so it was Canelo, and Canelo was groomed in the similar way that Jaime Munguia is being groomed. But every Mexican is rooting for Canelo now. Every guy is gravitating to Canelo, and Munguia is not getting the same clout because of Canelo. Virgil Ortiz.
No. There might be something to that. There might be something to that. And look, I'm gonna give you an example. And I know that everybody's not a big Andre Ward fan. I understand that. But let me just give you this example. When Floyd was doing his thing, he took all the air out the room. And even though Ward was doing good, motherfuckers really wasn't watching super middleweight like that. Like they wasn't. Because everybody was focused on Floyd. So that's kind of the deal with Canelo and the young guys. That if Canelo wasn't here, maybe them guys would get more shine. But all the Mexican fans, Mexicano fans, they looking at him right now. They not really.
To add to your Mayweather analogy, I think Chocolatito was also a victim of that.
Yes, definitely, because he was doing very well. But also, don't forget that Americans really don't watch Superfly like that too. They just don't. They didn't.
Right, but even among the purists,
Rungvisai derailed Chocolatito's whole plan. Man, he fucked up the whole program.
Well, yeah, but that was like I mean, like in other words, like. Prime Chocolatito, like let's say, flyweight Chocolatito, like flyweight, those look because he was better down there and he was more sharper, faster, better. Superfly, we can see that when he retires, that's the tail end of his story. Superfly, when he got up there, that's the tail end. Americans don't really watch those weights like that. They don't.
But here's
it's sad.
But here's my retort to that.
I think Estrada lost that second.
But I think even among purists, like Chocolatito,
and I think he kind of won. He won the third, but he won the second fight. Yeah.
What was your retort?
Here's the thing: how many 100-to-1 odds opponents did Canelo fight in his career?
None.
That's my retort because Jaime Munguia's last opponent was literally a 100-to-1 underdog. I remember it. I was like thinking like. Is there extortion going on? Is there some money being moved? Like, why is this guy 100-to-1 until they put him in the ring?
I know the guy you talk because I watched and it was like that fight was so pointless, bro. It didn't make no sense for him. This is after the Jimmy Kelly fight. He fought Osei. I forgot the guy's name, but I saw the fight, and it was pointless. But also, you have to acknowledge that when you have like a Mayweather, right? Ward was doing great. He was doing great where he was at. He was like. Super middleweight, he was doing great, but Floyd took all the air out the room, so motherfuckers really wasn't watching that shit like that. And with Canelo, it's kind of like that. They're like, yo, it's decent fighters out here. I feel like if let's say Canelo was on his way out, then people start looking for the next guy, and then when they start looking around, like, who's the next guy gonna be? they're gonna see Virgil more than Zerto, more than Jaime, more than Ryan. They're gonna say, yo, this Virgil kid.
And the other thing is the marquee value, because Canelo, even at the beginning of his career, after 5-6 fights, there was like, okay, there is something to gain to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Because that's the way you can entice a Shane Mosley, Randy Rose to fight that guy, because the guy was good.
Yep.
He's still good. And you're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
Jaime Munguia is not the same. Jaime Munguia doesn't have the same marquee value.
Yeah, like you're not getting a fuck ton of money. You're not getting a fuck ton of money to get in there with Jaime. You're not.
But here's the thing about Ward, though. Ward's never been a very vocal person unless you talk about Canelo with him, then he won't shut up. But like outside of that, like
Jaime's not vocal, bro. It ain't like Jaime out here fucking. Jaime don't say a lot, bro. Hice el trabajo y voy a ganar. He just talk about the boxing and shit. He don't say much. It's not that different a situation. But I'm saying that when you have a guy who's that bright a star, everybody else look dim compared to him. And that's what Canelo doing right now. And that's really what go on whenever you got a guy like that, or you have guys like that, like Manny and Floyd sucked all the fucking air out the room, bro. Because it was a lot of good guys, but you was really watching them mostly in that era.
I agree, but some of the greatest fighters we have seen do not have the gift of gab like Floyd did. Like Canelo doesn't necessarily have the gift of gab, but when he talks, everybody listens.
But that's a late development too, because that only started in the last 2 years or so.
And he had to learn.
Canelo didn't say shit.
And he had to learn English to do it.
Like you used to have to watch the Spanish channels to see him say shit. He didn't. He wasn't the way he is now. That he's a man now. He's maturated now. He's he hit his stride. But there was a time when if you wanted to see Canelo talk, you better be watching him Spanish interviews because he wasn't going to say shit in English.
I mean, you couldn't hear him speak unless you had fucking David Feitelson, dangling over his head.
I got a question for you about the translators. Do you ever listen to boxers that are speaking in Spanish and the translators totally twist it around or make it different from what
they don't use the right words? It's not even that the translators try to twist it around. It's that they don't use the right words. That's the main thing. You're not using the right words.
Okay.
Like
and if it's like a Puerto Rican guy speaking Spanish and the translator is from Argentina, then it's like
you're not gonna be asking him to speak Chinese. Yeah, I like Puerto Rican Spanish because they talk real relaxed. They talk it's just very relaxed. And I like Argentinian Spanish because they sound like Italians that are speaking Spanish.
Yeah, no, I like the Brits. They have like the British accent of Latin.
Yeah. And I like hearing Mexicans from Mexico speak Spanish because they enunciate everything. Like they pronounce everything in the shit.
Talk fast, man. Some of
them. No, that's us. That's Dominicans. We talk super duper fast. It's almost not even a language. It's just that is very quick. You know what I mean? It's very fast. You know what I'm saying? Like a machine gun. And I just I like hearing all the different types of Spanish, but I do like how much Mexicans conjugate, because they'll conjugate the shit out some words, bro. You know what I mean? Caribbean Spanish is like the equivalent of patois. It's broken up.
Yeah.
It's syllables missing. Like we put words
it's got
together.
Its own flavor.
Yeah, like it's
like for instance, coño. That's like a Caribbean word, man.
Yeah, that's a Caribbean word.
Coñazo. Like you listen to Roberto Duran speak Spanish, and I'm Central American too. I think we're more like similar to Caribbeans. We're like that medium between Mexicans and Caribbeans.
I would say
well,
that.
You know what though? That, like if you go to Mexico, right? There's a difference between like northern and southern Mexico dialects, and there's a lot of different ones in between. And like for instance, like part of my family comes from like northern New Mexico, southern Colorado, and that's like there's a difference in dialect there that's similar to northern Mexican Spanish, but there's like a lot of differences, a lot of archaisms and stuff like that. And then like different Spanish groups have different words. Like in Mexican, they call a dog perro. I can't roll my tongue, but perro, right? Perro. In El Salvador, it's chucho.
Chucho.
So they'll say chucho, so that two words, but it means the same thing, but it's just different.
Yeah, like I think Salvadorians say something like, what's that word they use for young man? I know that chavalo, and we say carajito. We'll say something like that, and then there's another word they use, man, and it's like cipote.
Oh, cipote, yeah, I know that one.
That's where my dad is from, and I've heard that.
Yeah, my grandmother used to say that.
I never fucking heard that shit in my life till I moved. Like, the fuck is a cipote? The fuck is that? Chipotle?
I could tell you, I don't know even. Bro, I don't even know what that means, man. I've heard that word before.
A buddy of mine back in '93 to go, and he visited his family, and I heard a whole bunch of different stuff when I was down there. It was crazy.
Yeah, like the words is like a common one that I'm sure everybody knows as well. Caribbean people might say gripe for a cold. Mexicans say gripa, I think it is, with an A. Gripa. Tengo gripa. That's weird.
I think we say gripe too.
Gripa. And yeah, yo.
Nah, see, like, so my mother's side is from Honduras. And one thing that I like, because I hung out with a lot of Dominicans, because I used to go to a Dominican barbershop a lot. Same thing. Y'all have the same thing that we do, where we say que vaina.
Ah, vaina, sí, vaina, la vaina, la vaina.
To describe shit.
La vaina. Yeah, I like our language because you could tell we're very happy people from the way we speak Spanish. Very happy, jovial people. We yell a lot, and it's very nice. Whereas other types of Spanish, some Spanish is more quiet. Like every Salvadorian person that I spoke to when I moved, they talk real quiet. You know what I mean? Like they not very ostentatious at all. But it's like a very timid type of Spanish. And I like Mexicans, like I said, because they conjugate. I like Puerto Rican Spanish because they sound very relaxed when they talk. It's just like one cent, like very relaxed, very nice, very nice. And yeah, yo. Panocha is Mexicans and Toto is Boricua. We talking about vaginas?
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Panocha. That shit don't even sound like what it is, bro. That shit sound like a rice dish.
Salvadorans using that too, though, man.
Yeah.
Guatemalteco. What the fuck is a vaina? It's in between the asshole, and the pussy. That's where the vaina is.
I thought that was a taint.
Hey, Edwin says that. Hey, Jules. Edwin Castillo says the word in El Salvador is cipote.
Cipote. Yeah, because that's a Central American word to my knowledge. But I noticed a lot of Salvadorians use it. They use it a lot. Cipote. Like, I never heard that shit before.
Yeah, but vaina is used like for you people from the USA, like the word shit.
Yeah.
Like cut the shit. Deja la vaina.
Or
it's just used. See, I've seen it used to describe just a situation or just like a phrase, a form of expression, like que vaina says.
No, pero it's multi-purpose. Like, you know how we use shit? Like, look at this fucking shit. What's that shit? This fucking shit. That's how you use vaina.
Vaina. Like in Mexican Spanish, they're like la mierda, like shit, you know.
Yeah. That's exactly. Vaina is the equivalent of saying shit. That's kind of what it's for. Like, it's that word that void that shit fills when you say this shit, that shit. Oh, it's some shit. That's vaina. It's not an actual thing. Like, you can't go to the vaina tree and pick a vaina.
Yeah. Or like even insults, because like Mexicans will say chinga tu madre, and then an Argentine will say la concha de tu madre or some shit like that.
Concha. How do you use vaina in a sentence?
You would say esta vaina, this shit, esta vaina. Esta vaina.
Oh, this bullshit. This
yeah,
shit.
like if you was gonna say if you was gonna say like ain't that some shit? Esta vaina. It's the same relationship.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question. I mean, I know the word, but what's the exact meaning of the word like bruto or bruta?
Brute,
like brute, yeah, or dumbass.
Brutum, literally, it stems from brute, but what it really means is dumb. Like bruto, you're saying dummy,
dumb or hard headed. Like my dad would call me that a lot.
My sisters would call me a bruto a lot, but it was because I was being a dumbass.
Yeah, maybe Leo can enlighten us on
like
what
concha de madre
means.
No, pendejo is a pussy. Like that's literally the word.
I thought that was an
See
idiot.
now, in yours it is maybe, but like in Mexican Spanish, pendejo is like more like an idiot, you know?
Yeah, we used to it being an idiot. Like that's what I'm used to it being an idiot.
The context that I've always known pendejo for when we use it is pussy. Like you a pussy. Like that's at least as long as I've ever known and used that word.
We know it in New York.
Alberto Pendejo.
I know you from New York too, but we know it as idiot because most of our Mexican workers and stuff, they from Mexico, so they see it as pendejo being idiot. You feel me? So we see it as idiot.
Undefeated said, y'all say mamagüevo and we say chupa huevo. Yeah, we say mama.
And then Puerto Ricans say mamabicho.
Mamabicho, yeah, bicho is they shit.
Yeah, bicho. Mama huevo, mamabicho.
To respond to concha de tu madre is used like for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
It's a similar expression.
Because I thought concha
you're saying very different for
concha's pussy.
It's an expression,
but like the literal English, like the literal English translation would be like your mother's seashell.
It's like fuck your mother. Your mother's pussy. It's basically saying fuck your mother.
But but the context, like what you're trying to get out is, oh, for fuck's sake, concha tu madre.
Yeah, exactly. Or like my buddy from El Salvador, when sometimes he used to sit there and say, "Como mierda, hijo de puta," you know.
And como mierda, what it literally translates into is shit eater, but you don't literally mean shit eater.
Eat shit, dick
Bato socio.
Yeah.
Dirty fag or something.
Pato sucio. Or maricón. I don't know if Mexicans use that. Mariconazo, like
they do.
That's
I know, but I actually, but look, the Mexican one is better. Culero. That shit sound like what it is, culero. That shit literally
sound like you take it as an ass. For real.
Talking about Oscar.
because it has culo in it. Culero, like it has
here's a trippy one. Like the word in Mexican Spanish, they say "I weigh," like weigh, right? Now apparently weigh the expression is like for dude, but actually weigh in Mexican Spanish is an animal. It's an ox.
Yeah.
I found that out. I was like, oh, okay.
It's
but
like
they
when people
use
from
it as
Philly
dude.
say bull.
Yeah. For some reason, that shit be sounding so weird, B. That shit be sounding mad weird, bull. Like I'm like, huh?
Bull?
The fuck?
What? Really, people really say that?
Yeah,
they'll say, the young bull. Or something like that. Like when they describe like a young dude, they'll say
when they say way, it's like dude. They mean it as dude. You know, like I way, you know, like dude.
Is that an insult?
No. Puñeta.
No.
Yeah, puñeta's that's PR. Puñeta.
Puñeta is an insult, right?
Yeah, puñeta's an insult.
Yeah, that's an insult. But what he was just talking about, was that an insult?
No.
Oh, what? No, that's not an insult. That's not an insult.
No, it's a common expression they use amongst the, you know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, since we're in the Caribbean, I always wanted to know what so we're talking about Caribbean insults, right? I always wanted to know what does bumbleclot mean.
What?
I think bumbleclot is the asshole, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
Bumbleclot, because that's an asshole. Like, but
I thought that just meant like motherfucker.
That means you like cheap, and everybody got one. You just an asshole. You just a regular nigga. You just regular.
What does Fosse mean?
What
does Fosse? Because I've heard Fosse used as an insult.
I don't know that one. Like Fozzie Bear.
Yeah, like Fosse hole, like, and I always thought it sounded like you saying pussy hole, but if you were saying pussy hole, you'd have been saying pussy hole, like, because that's an insult in Jamaican. What the fuck is a Fosse?
It's like a male pussy hole.
What the fuck?
Wow.
I think the funniest like Jamaican insult is batty boy.
Batty boy.
Yeah.
Batty boy. Yeah.
Chichi man. Oh shit! That shit sound like what the fuck it is. Like you hear that shit? You know exactly.
That should be Spencer's new ring walk, Chichi man.
Chichi man.
That's Ryan Garcia eating jerk chicken.
Shit like that on the Brooklyn street.
He should.
I'm telling you. Niggas,
that should be his ring walk music, Chichiman. Remember that song? Riding the Chichiman.
Bring fire.
The Chichiman, yeah. You're not gonna know what the fuck they saying. Like, hey, shit,
bro, they were talking about burning fucking gay people, bro.
Yo, don't fucking get me flagged, bro. What the fuck?
Well, this is true, bro. They
were. Don't say that here. I ain't say that shit. They said that shit. I ain't say shit. But that should be Ryan Ringwalk music, bro. Right in the Chichiman.
I'm telling you, bro, Material Girl. That would be his, like.
You're living in. Yo, I could literally see him come out to that and be dead serious like it's a TikTok.
I think he'll come out to dance.
Yo, but Jules, you got Joyce versus Wilder. Who you got?
Man, that shit ain't gonna happen, bro. I ain't even gonna waste my brain cells on that shit.
Joyce versus Wilder, come on.
That shit is not gonna happen, bro. It don't make no sense to be talking about that shit.
Bro, low key, I think if that fight does happen, that would be like Foreman Frazier again. Like
what?
Because he can't fight. Wilder can't fight off his back foot, bro. I think Joyce would just run his ass over.
Oh, well, that's why. That way. That's why he said it that way. Because
hey, you know what?
Back foot. I understand what he's saying.
Just cut him in half, bro. Like.
I don't know.
That shit not gonna happen, bro. Wilder petrified to fight Andy, bro, and he gonna fight Joyce. Come on now.
Hey, real quick. One thing about Spanish.
Joyce is a better fight for him than Andy is, because Andy, if he get inside, it's over.
One thing about Spanish that trips me out real quick. People from Spain don't roll their tongues, whereas other people that speak Spanish in other parts of the world roll their tongues.
Yeah. They do they got the lisp is what they got. They got a lisp to Spanish. Let's go ahead.
They got those three.
See, I take back what I said. They're like the British people of like Spanish people.
Oh yeah,
pretty much. They're the originators.
We in Spanish over here on our side of the world we say plaza, but they say plaza with a T.
Yeah, that's what they got a list. They got the plaza. Vamos a las cosas. I think they say vosotros instead of nosotros. I think they say vosotros with a fucking. They're just real foo, yo. You know what I'm saying? Real foo over there, bro.
Yeah, we took it and we made it better.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We put some adobo on that shit. You know what I mean? Fucking.
Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Me voy pa'l carajo.
Y yo me voy pa'l carajo también. It's been great. I'm not gonna do a live tomorrow because it's V-Day. I'll be busy, but I will upload 1 or 2 episodes of the relay. And everybody stay cool.
Have a great one, guys.